I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport.
Let's spin the wheel. And somebody chooses music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. For Nando's.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those.
Leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga.
The topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
The subject is junk food. Russell.
Hello. Am I allowed to take this out? Or do I have to...
Go for it.
Slick. There was an amazing thing the other day. Apparently 15% of 2 to 11-year-olds in England are now obese, and the government's going to ban telly adverts of junk food till 9 o'clock so the kids can't watch. And you find yourself screaming at the telly, if your 2-year-old's obese, that isn't telly's fault, that's your fault. How can you possibly ban the adverts? Ban your fanny until you can look after what plops out of it. That is unbelievable. There's ways and means. My dad invented something, right, to make us eat our dinner. My sister would never eat it. She was like, no, it looks disgusting, Dad, no way to eat it, right? My dad invented something called the dinner witch. So, my sister was like, it looks disgusting. My dad would wink at me. I'd pop outside, ding dong, at the doorbell. My dad would then look into my sister's 8-year-old face and go, oh, Kerry, who could that be? During dinner time, with your plate still so full. And I suppose it could be the dinner witch. At which point, my sister would be like, slick.
protest marches. Who's up first? Any come in protest?
Yeah.
Russell.
Okay. The only protest march I went on the Countryside Alliance March. I'm not pro or anti-fox hunting. I just quite like watching posh people get beaten up. I know it's wrong, but if you can find me a more glorious noise than then I'll happily listen. Come on, it's going to be fun, isn't it? And it's just so much fun baiting right-wing people. What do you think about fox hunting? I tell you what I think. If we didn't chase the fox, the entire bloody country would be overpopulated by foxes. Is that what you want? Some hideous land of the foxes? Me, unable to leave my house and fear a fox wandering up to me, stabbing me in the gizzards? Is that what you desire? Looking across my lawn to see fox upon fox prowling along my paddock, flicking the V's at me, walking hand in hand with asylum seekers? Is that what you want?
Okay, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that.
Russell.
My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed in tiny and latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
The subject is leisure. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I don't quite know how that signifies leisure. How has that old man got her? That's a joke. Anyways, we've got more disposable income now than ever, right? And this is quite an odd story, but my mum recently bought a hot tub. Now, I don't know if anyone else, it's quite exciting when your mum gets hot. She put it at the bottom of the garden, you get quite giddy, and then you're in it, and then you realise you're actually just outside having a bath with your mum. And you've got no recollection of how to behave, right? And I've got a slightly lazy eye, so my mum's like, are you looking at my thighs? No. It gets freakier. My dad jumped in, my brother jumped in, my sister jumped in, and 2 of our family dogs leapt into the pool, right? So we're all on the edge, like really British, terrified, we're all naked. Dogs are just going around like that. Having the time of their life, right? And my mum just chose this moment to embarrass us, just looked up and went, hey, guess what? She wasn't doing a dog impression, that would have been weird, right? She went, guess what everyone in this hot tub's got in common? I don't know, Mum, what? That's a dog hitting me, right? My mum looked up and went, everybody in this hot tub has sucked my tits.
Okay, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, toot if you're anti-war. And if you drive past her, she does this. Now, I'm not sure, I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go, why am I doing this? Stop it! Do it! They're everywhere, they're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day, you know, one of those religious godbotherers, it's fantastic, just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people around, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Everyone was freaked out, too goth delighted, that's a separate issue, but he pointed at me and I was freaked out, and then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at it, went, you're going to hell. Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, no, mate, HMV. And he just sat there going, oh.
Well done, Russell Howard. The next topic is the body beautiful. Who wants to come in on that?
We come in all shapes and sizes, don't we? Right. Good example, my mum has recently joined an under 5 foot club, you know. I'm not lying, you haven't seen a prettier sight until you've seen a load of tiny ladies sat around a table, their feet barely touching the floor. Sat there, because they're all under 5 foot, convinced they've got the same things in common. They haven't, right? The only thing they've got in common, when you hoover near them, they don't have to lift their legs. That's pretty much it, right? And there's a really amazing old lady there called Sue, who's about 80, and she's got a prosthetic hand. Now, we got chatting, right? When she first went to school, the state of prosthetics was so poor, she actually went to school with a full-size man hand. As if your first day at school isn't terrifying enough. We're going to get bullied. There's your hand. You'll grow into... What do you mean I'll grow into it? I'm a little girl. I'm not Gordon Banks. What's that?
There's a Russell Howard. Men's health is the next top, as represented by the knee. The window on the man's soul, the knee.
Well, we've all been there, let's be honest. Jesus. And it's got quite a nice pant ferret there, which is a bit of hair. Never mind. Hey, we all call it our pan ferret. No, don't be children. Of men's health, basically, it's quite an embarrassing story. Because it's terrifying when you go to the doctors, and you're so scared. I turn into a 6-year-old boy. I'm totally unable to explain what's wrong with me. I'm like, doctors like that, what's wrong with you? Who did this to you? Dragons. And you're sat there, terrified. 3 times in my life, I've been convinced I've got testicular cancer. Every single time, it's been an ingrowing hair. It's, funny. It's getting to the stage. I need something terminal just to stop me looking like a massive pervert. You know, there's no way of getting comfy when you're having your balls checked, because the doctor's like, obviously my balls aren't that big. If you sat there and go, well, you do appear to have a problem, Mr. Howard. You appear to have camel's gonads. But you don't know where to put your hands, you know? You can't sort of do that or anything. I toyed with the idea of doing that firmly. I wish I'd been courageous enough just to go... But I didn't. I sat there like a timid T-Rex as my penis gently shrunk. And it's horrible, because the only good thing about going to the doctors is the ladies' magazines. You know, it's always the same. I found love in Falaraki. The most orange woman you've ever seen. Like morph in a frock, clinging on to some terrified waiter. He gives me love 24/7. Cock your own fish fingers, Darren. He's a keeper. You're literally flicking through. When you get to the middle, that's when it gets properly ridiculous. There's always some woman staring at that. There's a ghost in my womb. I was walking downstairs. It flew out me vulva. It were Henry VIII. That's the only good thing about going to the doctors.
Thank you very much, Rocco. The subject is national identity. Who wants to come forward? Russell.
Thank you. We're told to worry about national identity all the time. Like, Gordon Brown seems to be obsessed with British values. Have you noticed that? It's kind of preaching British values. What are British values? Ultimately, we're all embarrassed and we laugh at stuff we shouldn't. That's pretty much it, isn't it? It's that forbidden giggle. You know when you're not allowed to laugh, but all you can think about doing is laughing. It's like when you see an old lady get hit by a frisbee. You know it's wrong. You know? The last time I saw that flag, it was a football game. England were playing Croatia, right? In Croatia, there was a bloke holding up the flag, right? Into which he'd sung the words, "Go home, asylum seekers!" And you're like, how middle class a hooligan are you? You're into bigotry and embroidery.
Good man, well done, Russell. The first topic is transport. Russell's straight in.
Hello. I had a car crash the other day. It was horrific. I hit this lady. She was in a car. She wasn't dressed as a bollard. It was so bad because I hit her, and then I sort of walked out to say sorry. And how unlucky is this? She was staring at me with real fear. For some reason that morning, I decided to wear a Grand Theft Auto T-shirt. Now, there's no way you can make that worse unless you've got a beer in one hand and go, not again. I've really got to buy a steering wheel.
Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots should give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 trick. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, I couldn't believe it. I opened up my frazzles. There he was.
Russell Howard. The subject is charity. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady bung it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants her to go, Sire, he brings goods. The chosen one has arrived. As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah, will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers? Banana Grams.
Russell Howard. The first subject is homelessness. Who wants to come in on that? Russ.
I had a really great incident with the homeless bloke the other day. That sounds fairly dodgy. It was really, it's weirdly uplifting. So I gave him £1 and I was kind of walking away and he went, "Oi, mate, I've got a magic dog." Now that is a sentence that buys you half an hour with me, right? And it had sick all down him, this dog, right? And the homeless bloke had sick down him as well. And I was like, "What happened?" And he went, "Oh, we was asleep in a skip and some bloke chucked up on us." It's the most depressing thing you've ever heard. And he just looked at me and went, "No, it was amazing." Like, really? Why is that? And apparently what he did, still covered in sick, he stood up in that skip and just went, "Ah!" So this bloke was so drunk he thought his vomit had come alive. That man will never, ever drink again. Beer, Dave, it comes alive! It comes alive! Lovely moment.
The subject is the West Country.
I'll say this.
Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, "Is it, do I like what's-its?" It's phenomenal. Just wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, "Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right?" And she looked and went, "Apparently, you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge." And you're like, "Well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that some... I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King de Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Russell. The next topic is the media. Who wants to come in? Russell.
I'll do that. I think the papers are making this country a worse place to live. Don't you feel like that? Just the unremitting horror of the Daily Express. They must well just get rid of news and just have every day, "Don't go outside! It's full of queers, blacks and crime! Oh, if only Diana was here!" And just sort of sat there going, "Come on." But they're all the same, you know? They're all the same. The Daily Mail every day, "Asbo's Muslim speak, camera, Asbo's Muslim speak." The Sun, "Are you a pedo? Are you a pedo? Have a bang on her tit, 16 today. Are you a pedo?" You know? The Independent, you try and read it, it's like it's grabbing you by the throat. "Are you recycling? Are you? You just killed a polar bear! You!" All the while, the Guardian's in the corner fanning itself with a wall chart. You silly little things. Tell 'em, Telegraph. Cricket! Cricket! Too much.
British society.
Thanks. There's a lot of idiots about, aren't there? I was in a sauna the other day with some men, which, you know, let's forget about that part of the story, but there was this bloke who was just sat there going, "I tell you what, this country's got to the dogs. 5 years' time, guarantee it, this country, Sharia law. Everywhere you look, Sharia law." And his mate went, "Yeah, but the thing is, right, under that law, you can have 4 wives. And this bloke suddenly went, "Really?" And you're like, "Make your mind up, mate. You Sid James or Enoch Powell. They're everywhere. Titties, ha-ha." He went mental. 4 wives, imagine the fun I'd have. 1 for every day of the week. It's wonderful when you see bigotry slapped, isn't it? I was on a train the other day. There was a bloke sat here, let's call him a dick, who was sat opposite a man of foreign persuasion, just go, "Why don't you go home, mate? Why don't you go home?" And this hero looked back at this bloke and went, "I am. That's why I'm on the train."
Next topic is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
Good laugh, mate. I get off for drugs loads. I was at Glastonbury this year, right? And this bloke came up to me. He's like, "All right, mate, do you want some shrooms?" And you're quite tempted, because everyone's like, "It was amazing, man. Had a chat with a tree. Good guy. He was called Nathan. You'd love him. We could play racquetball Thursday week. What a chap." But you know, if you took mushrooms, you'd be the one who would have the story that would end up on the front page of the papers. Do you know what I mean? "I killed a lollipop lady. She wouldn't let me lick it and I killed her." So in the end, right, it was really embarrassing. I had 3 packs of Starburst just shoving in front of my tummy, like, nom, 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 nom. I was like, my guts totally gave way, and this lovely old lady came up to me and was like, "Are you all right?" Now, you've never known being truly pathetic until you've looked into the eyes of a kind stranger and gone, "I've eaten too many sweets."
Thank you, Russell. And the topic is relationships. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
Britain, I have sexual advice for you. That's right. When I was 18, I used food in the bedroom. Now, don't ever do it. It didn't go well, right? I used Rolo yogurt. And rather than tell... Yeah, exactly, right? Rather than tell my then-girlfriend what I had planned, I pretty much waited for her like some hideous yogurt goblin, right? Now, I doubt there's anything more terrifying than coming home to find me naked, holding yogurt, going, "Yeah, yeah," right? And I panicked, and rather than putting a little bit on, I pretty much basted her, right? By the time I'd finished, she looked a bit like Morph. You're sat there. I created an angry meal. You don't know where to start licking. You don't want to lick randomly, then she looks like she's got an illness. So, I did foot up to knee. That took me an hour. And hours, I was just... She looked like an angry gingerbread lady who'd had her leg dipped in Tipp-Ex, right? It didn't end there. I was like, "I can't help you." The door opened, one of my dogs ran in and started licking the other leg. Never use food in the bedroom.
Thank you very much, Russell Howard. OK, the topic is human behaviour.
Some things you can't help doing. Do you find this? Like, if you get a cold can of Diet Coke, it's not enough for you to go, "That is freezing." You have to find somebody you love and put it on their face. You don't do that with any other food. This soup's boiling in your eyes, but for some reason you become a fizzy torch. All right, "Mum, Fanta to the knee." We're all fairly peculiar. Sometimes you think weird thoughts. I was in Tesco the other day. I was offered a bag for life, and I found myself going, "I can't commit to that." You know? I don't know what bags are going to be like in the future. I feel like a tool if I got a plastic one in 2024. People go, "I've got a new bag. It packs itself and speaks Spanish." Piece of shit. What can you do? "I can suffocate a child." That's all you're good for. He can speak Spanish. "I can hurt your hands on long journeys."
Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, "Watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you. They'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna..." I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. "Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door." "Well, let's put him on now, scare him." "Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out?" Families.
Well done, Russell. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, "Lydia! How would you like if I banged you against the desk?" It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much. Russell. The subject, Russell, is etiquette.
It's like ladies with pointy breasts carrying books in a weird way. I'm really socially awkward. I met Jonathan Ross the other day, got really excited. I was having a wee backstage at a gig, and he went, you're thingamajig, aren't you? And for some reason I went, I can be whoever you want me to be. Now, in a toilet, that is just a come on, you know? And with women, it's even worse. I was on a train the other day, and this lady went, excuse me, can you look after my bags whilst I go to the toilet? Now, in that situation, all you've got to do is go, yes. But for some reason, I panicked and went, you're not allowed to go when it's in the station. So she sits down, going, fair enough, didn't realise you were the poo goblin. Horrible moment. The train wouldn't move. Eventually it did. I swear she looked at me and went, can I go now?
Thank you very much, Russell. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You can see that, mate. This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. Can you draw the curtains? We've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm not alone!
The next topic is the royal family.
Prince Harry's pretty spectacular, isn't he? He's wonderful. The Sun really can't make their mind up, because one minute the Sun, he's a war hero, next minute, racist. Make your mind up. We don't mind him killing foreigners, but don't call them names. That appears to be the way they operate, you know? But there's something wonderful about Prince Harry. He must have a weekly show called These Are the Things I've Done. And we'd watch it, wouldn't we? Yeah, a couple of years ago, man, I shaved my pubes, put it on a swan, big wow. Next week, I'm going to light my farts and fondle a gibbon. Come on over! We love him because he's ferociously stupid. Think about it. He had 100 grand spent on his education, the finest education money could buy. He went to Eton, he got 2 A-levels. One's an E in geography, one's a B in art. Can you imagine that? Your dad has spent 100 grand on your education? I've done a drawing and I sort of know what a hill is. You know,
Next subject is rage.
No wonder that man's cross. He's stuck in a shuttlecock. Everyone's angry, though. I know the kids did really well in their A-levels. How do we respond? A-levels are getting easier. In my day, you had to do 50 questions in a minute. You got one wrong, they killed your dad. You know? All you hear is, this country's gone to the dogs. I'm fed up with this country. It's the worst country in the world. It's enough to drive you mad. Yeah, I bet there's some bloke in some war-torn African village as we speak, just weeping. Why are you crying, mate? Is it because you've got no food, no money, no home? It is none of those things. Some people in England only have their willy bins collected once a fortnight. Is there no God?
The next topic is the consumer society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, why not try a guilt-free wrap? You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. So Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest thing in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, "Ooh, yawn rape," and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape, and now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an old yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, "It's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it?" And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, "Where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular." And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. Like, His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, "That'll be my bloody boy!" Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, "Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public?" And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence: "Dad, your willy's moving?" You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
The subject is young people. Russell.
Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, "Here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat." He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. "Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun." How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. Shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, "Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers." Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much, Russell. Unlikely things to read on a packet.
Ragu sauce. If you gave this to someone who is actually from Italy, they'd punch you in the face.
To open, push down tab, break tab, swear repeatedly, stab with a pair of scissors!
Serves 4, you greedy bastard. Now put some of that back.
Viagra are proud sponsors of Andy Murray, for people who can only ever achieve a semi.
Bag may also be used for autoerotic asphyxiation.
Fair trade coffee. If you don't like it, you're racist.
Sunny Delight counts towards your 5 a day as -2.
To stop diarrhea, take 1 teaspoon. and shove it up your arse.
Adults and children over 12 years. Try not to get those two mixed up.
Cup of soup. Just add soup.
Best before date, Rohypnol.
Serving suggestion. On a plate, you thick moron.
We use only the very cheapest horse meat to make fuck it, it's just a cat.
Get that round of points to Frankie, Hugh and Tom. Lines you wouldn't hear in a war film.
We've managed to crack the Germans' code. Turns out they were sending messages in German.
Why are we speaking English?
I'm afraid we can't afford goggles. So what we're going to have to do, we're all going to have to go like this.
Terribly sorry, Sergeant. It's just that when you said let's all band together and take Jerry from behind...
OK, chaps, here's the strategy for escaping from the prisoner of war camp. We sit it out till the end of the war.
I'm saving Private Ryan. Money on his car insurance.
Is anyone else embarrassed that we've all turned up in the same outfit?
There's only one way to settle this war. Through the medium of dance.
Don't worry, Tommy. I'll make sure she gets it. It's chlamydia, isn't it?
You've each been selected for this mission because you're unknown to the enemy and you each have a special skill. Professor Hawking, John Leslie, Phil Neville, the Wu-Tang Clan, Usher, the Sugar Puffs Monster, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Welcome to Operation Mindfuck.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam.
Unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, I have recently become obsessed with a woman and begun stalking her. Look out of the window.
My partner won't give me oral sex, which is really annoying, because that's the only reason I formed the coalition with him in the first place.
My wife says I don't feel anything, which is a problem. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I'm on fire.
I'm 26, my girlfriend's 36. Is 10 years too big an age gap? Because her daughter's 16, she's a right little soul.
I have recently met a woman who makes me feel young again. She's 167.
Dear Auntie, I'm a very, very nervous person, and sudden noises really startle me. In fact, even if I hear a buzzer, a bit of wee comes out.
My mates are all getting into drugs, but I don't know what to do. Should I charge them mates' rates or just normal prices?
Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
I am 96, but I'm convinced that young women fancy me. Do I have penile dementia?
I've been wanting to come and see you for a long time, but I can't get out of the chair.
I am a man trapped inside the body of a woman. Could you tell us, please, how to get out of position 43 of the Kama Sutra?
I work in the public sector, and I'm really, really, really worried about my pension.
The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Angela, which category would you like?
I'd like home use, please, Dara.
Home use. Ah, blessed break from sport. The answer is 56 years. What is the question?
Is it how long does it currently take to get a UK passport?
Is it what the minimum prison sentence should be for anybody that takes their shirt off in the summer? I find it unacceptable. I remember, like, when it used to be hot days, my dad would open up the curtains first thing in the morning and say, the white people are going to get naked today.
Is it how much did David Moyes age in his 6 months at Old Trafford?
How long would most blokes happily sleep in the same sheets for?
What does a 2-minute match summary by Phil Neville feel like?
Is it how long has Prince Charles been thinking, oh, any day now?
Is it how long could I hold a poo in if I shared a flat with Oscar Pistorius?
I tell you what, that is the Flatshare sitcom I want to see.
How long would it take to collect sufficient owls for Labour to honour their manifesto commitments?
Is it how long since England were last eliminated in the first round of the World Cup?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Josh Rudigan. Very good. Yes, the answer I was looking for was how long is it since England last failed to progress beyond the group stage of a World Cup? Were you surprised? Were you gutted?
No, I mean, we didn't lose all our games, did we? I mean, I thought we managed a very creditable 0-0 draw with the 2,500 to 1 outsiders. So, you know, people said we had low expectations, didn't we? And then we all got disappointed when we were knocked out after 2 games. So, obviously, our expectations weren't quite low enough, were they?
What was it? It's the players as well. They didn't... Wayne Rooney said that if we'd won, we'd have gone through, and that's the main lesson to learn. and you're going, if that's the main lesson to learn, we really need to go back to basics.
Well, there was Liverpool, though, and Liverpool had 5 England players in the match day team, didn't they? There was Sterling, Sturridge, Johnson, Henderson and Gerrard, and, of course, Uruguay had 2 Liverpool players in the squad, Suarez and Gerrard again. So...
Very busy man that day, wasn't he? Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm finding out now that England are out, I'm finding out about the backgrounds of all my friends. Because suddenly my friend the other day was suddenly, you know, well, actually, I'm half German, so I'll support Germany now. So you kept quiet about that on D-Day, didn't you?
Didn't you, Gunter? That's what I thought was an unfortunate thing to bring up on the boat.
I've actually just started pretending I'm Costa Rican. I will switch to whatever I need to, you know. I'm in the cricket, I'm very Sri Lankan at the moment. During the Ashes, I pretended I was Aborigine. Like, I don't care. I will go wherever the results take me.
If I were Roy Hodgson now, I'd be a pundit, because like, he could be a pundit anywhere in the world. Apparently, he can speak 5 languages. Yeah. Roy Hodgson, which is literally 5 more than Phil Neville. So...
Roy Hodgson always looks like a man who'd be far happier inside eating soup.
What did a lot of England fans find enormously irritating immediately after the matches?
Reality.
there was England footballers doing adverts.
Yes.
Things like the Carlsberg Fan Squad advert.
Yes, there was a series of other people found there were complaints about, Joe Hart and his dandruff, which, luckily, he's still beaten. Good man, Joe, well done. I said, why does that company, I'm going to give them the free ad, that company who does an anti-dandruff shampoo, which you all know, you say the word anti-dandruff shampoo, and bing, why do they even spend money? Who goes, maybe I'll have a competing anti-dandruff shampoo for my shampoo? Well, there's one company who makes it.
Some of us, Dara, are still worrying about dandruff.
It's an unusual put-down, isn't it? On the one hand, zing, I'm bald. But yet, on the other, you don't come out of it like a prince, has to be said.
I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think it through.
Take that, bald man. Oh, you social loser. Yes, it has to be said that some of the England squad were probably not as well known as others. There was a young squad, a new squad. I mean, for example, there was this range of commemorative mugs that was brought out, and they were there on sale. And we're not making this up. And all the members of the squad, particularly Chris Smalling, the Manchester United defender.
Who cannot believe they put Theo Walcott's picture on.
It's mortifying, isn't it, actually? Yeah. That's Smalling, and for reference, a picture of...
I hope there's not a mix-up, and Chris Smalling's now going to have to be the President of the United States of America.
Well, what happens is, if he's going to get a phone call from David Cameron going, I finally got some service. I finally got coverage. What do we do about the Shia situation? I don't know. Yes, the question I was looking for was, according to Harriet Harman, what proportion of the top 2 posts in the Labour Party should be allocated to Harriet Harman? Or more generally, women? This is the news. The Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Harriet Harman, said that either her post or the job of leader should always be occupied by a woman because, in her words, men cannot be left to run things on their own. Her actual words.
Listen to that applause. Did you hear that? Bingo wings in the corner.
I mean, there is something about representation of women at the high levels of government, but that actual quote does make it seem like every time she left the room, it would turn into a chimp's tea party. And she'd come back in, they go, oh, sorry.
It's true, though, isn't it, that women are underrepresented in the top echelons of politics. I know, in Italy, for example, there are lots of women in the top jobs. You can be... Berlusconi will put you in the cabinet in Italy at the age of 19. If you're good enough. So you can see where it's coming from.
Harriet Harman's an incredible figure, isn't she? Do you know that Harriet Harman, when she first came to my attention, she wrote a book about the history of feminism, which she dedicated to her husband. She's mistaking sexism with people hating her.
She's always saying stupid things, isn't she? She said she is Radio 2 to Gordon Brown's Radio 4. And you're thinking, well, she's not Radio 2. Radio 2 is the most popular radio station in this country. If she's anything, she's Isle of Wight FM on a Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in January when the transmission mast is broken.
Some are watching there is the guy who does the 3 o'clock in the morning slot. Why am I the shorthand for crap?
Wouldn't it be great if he looks exactly like Harriet Harman as well?
I know their female politicians always have an element of freakishness, don't they? She's a bit of a freak. Hazel Blears looks like Gianfranco Zola humped an Oompa Loompa. And Margaret Beckett looks like a face trapped in a haunted mirror.
As opposed to Alistair Darling, a former winner of Miss Teen USA, and John Prescott.
Why are we led by the least among us?
Is that the only ones who are fool enough to do it?
Maybe one of the qualifications to become an MP is you have to be born inside out. That's one of the things. You can quite clearly sustain your organs on the outside. Come on in.
The thing about Harriet Harman as well is that she's wonderfully dappy. I don't know if you knew this, but her blog was recently broken into and they said she defected to the Tories. And do you know how they found out? Do you know what her password was? Harriet Harman.
They said that if the Lehman Brothers had actually been the Lehman sisters, that the banking crisis wouldn't have been as bad as it was. I think that's utter rubbish.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I think if there were girls in charge of the Lehmans, they'd just gone, sod it, should we just spend it on shoes? Come on!
Exactly.
$1 billion on Jimmy Choo.
It is a ridiculous argument, the Lehman Brothers, Lehman sisters. I mean, you could just choose any pun at that stage. Well, if the Lehman Brothers were the Gaiman brothers, then the gay men should have done much better.
You could say that in tennis. You could go, well, if the Williams sisters were... Oh, that's a bad example.
But the thing is, it just comes down to the fact that they're saying women are better with money. That's what she's saying, which is simply not true. No man bought Mamma Mia. There isn't a man that's listened to Duffy. Everywhere you go, I'm back in my No man went, Duffy, please. I love this stuff. It really sings to me. It isn't a man. This is a direct pop at my girlfriend who spent 30 quid on a doorstop that's a hedgehog.
It's great to be able to come on a TV show, though, and have a go at your girlfriend, isn't it?
Just don't get the doorstop!
I think if women are genuinely better with money, I think we should put Kerry Katona in charge of Barclays and see what happens.
I think we all know what Harriet needs. Our support, because she's right.
Bankers are sexist and bankers are laddish, but that isn't the reason that the banks collapsed. It's not like people were going there, what did the derivatives close at? I don't know, I was giving Jason a wedgie. I think if it's got to be a man and a woman that's in charge, let's have Richard and Judy. Judy can recommend a few books while we wait for the bombs to arrive from all the countries that Richard has offended.
There is an argument, has to be said, that a female leader would Labour be more electable under a female leader, and she's right. It would be more electable under. It would be electable under anyone, frankly. If they elected a hat stand or a jar of hummus to run if the Labour Party chose the H1N1 virus to lead it into the next election, it would do better than they will under Gordon Brown.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a gardening programme.
There's something about eating food that's come from your own garden. This is quite a hearty stew I've made out of a squirrel I shot with an air rifle.
Well, to answer your question, I tend to keep mine on a hose reel, but then I'm very lucky down there.
These pine trees smell suspiciously of air freshener.
My advice would be don't splash out on expensive gnomes. Do what I do and just simply varnish some small children I found playing in the park.
I call this my Blue Peter garden because it's the first place that I blew Peter.
Remember, the trick is to get your pitchfork right through it before you take it and throw it back over the fence.
Well, we've had a letter from Mrs. Smith of Epsom who's asked us to identify something that she has found in her garden. Well, Mrs. Smith, that is a dog turd.
I've got a letter here from Maureen in Doncaster who's asking a question about herbs. In response to your letter, Maureen, I would recommend about £200 for an ounce, and if it's really good shit, 300.
Well, that is the wheelbarrow, and tomorrow I'll show you another sexual position.
So it's quite simple to take up an old patio. All you do is just leave it. Let's not talk about it ever again.
I woke up in a field of aubergines the other day. I thought, none of these baby seals have faces.
Right, welcome to the UKIP garden. Sod the lawns, let's concentrate on them borders.
So you could use a lawnmower or a strimmer, although I would recommend waxing.
Take the shovel, Force it right down like that. Save your fortune in vet fees having it put down professionally.
Help! I'm being attacked by pineapples! Help! Help!
I like to plant my herbs in alphabetical order. People say to me, how do you find the thyme? I said, it's there next to the sage.
At the end of that round, the point is going to end here in Milton.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop. Thank you very much. Is it? Yeah. How many times have I dropped a bath bomb in a lemonade?
It was that good, was it?
Put it this way, mate, you don't do it twice. I think... Serious suggestion here.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, by the way. I realise I haven't said hello to you today.
Hello, James. Good to see you.
Hello, good to see you all. My main point...
I would like to compliment you on managing to find a jumper. This is the exact same colour as your hair.
Thank you.
It's very good.
And my shirt.
And your shirt.
I'm working on my skin. I'm hoping this soon I can just be completely in mustard and then hide in Coleman's.
Not to seem, churlish, but can we return to the topic at hand?
Absolutely.
Can you remember what the topic was?
Trump's got to be careful with all these lies, man. It gets you in trouble. Let me tell you a story, Dara.
I'm always happy for James' story.
A little boy named Pinocchio. He was a little wooden puppet who came to light because he was possessed by a demon. And he would go around and he would lie to everyone because of the devil. And then all the villagers, they put him on a bonfire and they burnt his soul to ash. And Trump should learn, you never trust a puppet.
I think we've all learnt an important lesson there.
You fucking idiot.
Do another one! Another one!
No, literally, no.
I want to hear James's version of the Bible.
Yes. The entire time.
In the beginning.
No. The topic is moving house.
I moved house recently. Luckily. That's good, isn't it? It's fortunate. Touch and go for a second there, and that came up, and I was like, ka-ching! Jackpot! I did move house recently. It's had too drafty for my liking, my new house. Had to order a draft excluder by post. Best way to buy a draft excluder is by post, because when they deliver it, they post it through the door, it drops through the letterbox onto the floor. Already it's paying for its own postage. Moved to West London. I used to live in South West London. Different times, I was a different person. Used to be in a gang. Big time in a gang. SW6 gang is our name. It's the area of London we're from, is our name. And it's what we'd shout at other gangs we didn't like much. Like if I saw the SW5 gang, for example, we'd shout at them, SW6! That's clever. I remember once, back in the day, we're out and about, SW6 crew, taking no shit. And looked across the road, we saw them, SW5 gang. And as soon as I saw them, I was cross. Shouted at them, SW6! As per. They shouted back at us, SW5! Which we expected, but it still made us angry. SW6 back at them, SW5 back at us, back and forth for ages. Until eventually, I got so overstimulated that I shouted out my entire postcode in full, and that is why I had to move house. Big rivalry between the two of them, because they're both brothers, and I think we can all relate to that. We can all relate to it. I have a massive rivalry with Prince William.
Why don't you get on with him?
He started it, mate. He's a dick. Don't ask me. I'm quite nice to him.
Where'd you meet him?
Well, Lidl. You can pretty much find anything in Lidl, including the future King of England. And he was next to a Polly Pocket and a waffle machine. And
was this Lidl in the 80s?
Yeah.
Polly Pocket and a waffle machine.
Yeah, Polly Pocket, a waffle maker.
Wham, we're playing
Prince William and some raisins. And I said,
Sorry, you sound like someone at the end of the Generation game failing to remember the items.
There's a lovely toy knocking about.
Okay, we apparently have to move on.
I know. Flying.
He was in mid-flow.
I know, I'm sorry.
Tell them you just trust me, I'm building up to something.
I'm watching a And the topic is cinema. Where you go?
Speaking of the cinema, Sarah Pascoe's an idiot. Love going to the cinema. My favourite film I ever saw at the cinema was the Eddie Redmayne classic, The Theory of Everything. I loved it. It should have been called Look Who's Hawking. That's my only criticism. No, but it's perfect. Worst part of going to the cinema is other people. Easily. Sitting there. King of the Jerks is behind me. This really angry man. Had a go at me at one point because I was snacking. Get over yourself, Grandad. I'll do what I like. In his defence, I was eating a big bag of fortune cookies. Cracking them open, reading them out loud. It was disruptive. It was disruptive. End of this film, man behind me goes, "Ugh, that's 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back." I thought, oh, got some bad news for this guy. Every hour of your life. Now you're never getting back. They're gone forever. Time is not refundable. Death is the end. And I know that because 5 minutes earlier, I'd read it in a fortune cookie.
Parties. Who wants to go in that? James.
I went to a surprise party recently with my friend Darryl. We were all in his living room, all of us, in the dark, hiding. His girlfriend turned to us all. She went, right, he's going to be here in a minute. When he gets in, everyone jump out, yell surprise, and that will be really surprising. I argued it'd be a lot more surprising if instead of making all that commotion, we all just stood there in his living room in the dark, just... When he comes in and turns the lights on, see how surprised he is then? It's a good party. I schmoozed. I'm good at schmoozing. Buttering people up. I'll give you some schmoozing tips, why not? A lot of people will tell you when you're schmoozing, have a good icebreaker, right? Break the ice. What they won't tell you, at the end of the conversation, unbreak the ice. You don't want anyone else swooping in, taking advantage of all the lovely little ice cubes that you created. So freeze it over again before you leave. So as you're leaving, just slide something under the fence, like death comes to us all, something like that. At the minute, the whole thing's even more confusing than it has been. That's why all this is going... The whole in and out thing, I think everyone's finding it difficult.
Yep.
In and out is a very hard decision. It's like the other day, my flatmate was making me a peppermint tea, and he said, would you like the bag leaving in or taken out? And it's very hard because if you leave the bag in, then over time, the cup of tea itself as a whole will get stronger. And it might appear like the bag is getting weaker, but it's now part of a stronger cup of tea. Whereas, if you take the bag out, The tea's now quite weak, and the bag itself goes directly in the bin.
That may be the smartest thing anyone has said in the last 2 months.
And the subject is food.
I'm trying to eat more healthily lately. I bought some ready-to-eat apricots this week. They say you are what you eat, which is true, because as soon as I bought the ready-to-eat apricots, I was ready to eat apricots. Those ready-to-eat apricots, they came in a resealable bag as well, because not everyone's as ready to eat apricots as they think they are. Maybe next time they'll buy ready-to-eat some apricots. I know shitloads about bread. There's no such thing as prawn bread. So the origin of prawn toast remains a mystery. Favourite place to eat is Pret a Manger. If you don't know Pret a Manger, it's an authentic French restaurant. So much in there, so much to manger. I love manger in there. I think my favourite thing to manger is the yoghurts. I love to manger the yoghurts. You've got granola on top, then mainly yoghurt, then like fruit compote at the bottom. It's the way they eat it in Paris. And get a spoon, you mix it all together, and then you manger it that way. If you like. Or if you like, just leave it as it is, don't mix it, and just work your way down in order. Like, start off with nothing but granola to begin with, just shoveling raw granola in your mouth, just deflecting off your teeth, then power through the yoghurt for a really long time, getting absolutely nothing out of it, then end on the tangy compote. Like, whoa, what a finale! That's how I eat yoghurt. I eat them like they're packaged. That's why I like them fruit corners. They come with that little chaser.
The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they can let go, make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. And have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference and still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a free cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. Free cheers for Jackie, hip hip. What if everyone goes, no? Not free cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip hip, shut up.
How has a monkey sparked debate this week?
Oh, it's the selfie monkey.
It is the selfie monkey,
That's obviously quite an old story, the monkey that took the selfie, and we all like that picture, but now it's like in court that who owns the rights to the image?
Yep,
and some people, it's debates whether it's the photographer who owned the camera and left it there for the monkey to play with, or if it is the monkey who owns the right to a photo it didn't know it was taken.
But the monkey's not going to have a career as a photographer. I'm not going to go to a wedding and they're going to go, where's the photographer? Masturbating and throwing shit at the bridesmaids. Not again, anyway.
This ruined the first wedding. This is why we had to do it all again.
Here's our wedding photos. It's just a load of selfies taken by a monkey. Obsessed with itself.
That'd be great.
In the veil, holding the boat.
If behind it there was like a bride and groom just trying to look around it. Like going, just taking photographs of
everyone's there. That better not have been of yourself again.
You doing a selfie again, selfie monkey?
Just wasting everyone's time.
Okay, no, just the bride's family. Just the
If you can't see the camera, I can't see you.
I mean, when...
And it's food and drink.
I'm not like Rob. I don't like going out getting drunk. I like staying in. I drink on my own. Way cooler, man. I lock the door. I get myself a glass of punch. Is that weird? I drink punch on my own. Is that strange? I drink it from a big punch bowl with a ladle in it in the corner of my bedroom. Is that weird? I don't know what other people do. People are always worried about punch getting spiked. Solo punch, problem solved. Not to spike myself, unless it's Fun Time Thursdays. Tried going out with some mates recently. We hit the town. I'm a prankster when I'm out with my friends. One of them left me alone with his pint while he went to the toilet. Big mistake. It's classic prank. Always do this if someone leaves me alone with their pint. I went round the bar using his pint to propose toasts with. Deliberately proposing toasts to things I knew he disagreed with. He comes back, has a sip. What you done with that? I'm like, You just drank to the service charge being included in the bill. You just drank to those bedside lamps that don't have the switch on the cord like is convenient, but have it on the neck of the lamp under the bulb. It's like a bolt you have to somehow slide across, and you can't even reach it like that. You get your whole hand up inside the lampshade, and it hurts. It's really awkward. You can't even see it. You got to look at the top of the lampshade to see what you're doing, and then you turn it on and it blinds you. You just drank to those lamps. You love those lamps.
Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. The subject is rejected exam questions.
Which of the following is a quote by Winston Churchill? A, we will fight them on the beaches. B, goddamn, I love these peaches. C... If the borrowers never returned anything they borrowed, why were they called the borrowers and not the thieving little bastards? Which of the following is a quote by Winston Churchill? A, we will fight them on the beaches. B, goddamn, I love these peaches. So I can't do that. It makes me laugh too much. I love, goddamn, I love these peaches so much. Which of the following is a famous fucking...
Okay, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a train.
Now an announcement for the people who insist on sitting the way the train is moving because sitting backwards feels weird. You're weird. I'm scared of tunnels. I'm so scared of tunnels.
And the end of that round, the point for the Ed, Hugh and James. The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who is this and why were they in the news this week?
Is he saying, in Greece, we play air bouzouki?
I think he's probably saying, that referendum, Alexander, that was a pointless answer.
I think he's saying, I know we're in a lot of debt, but at least can I just have some water?
Come on, people. Come on.
I think he might actually be saying the worst thing is that the Germans have made me stand in this top hat.
It looks a bit like Angela Merkel's playing the piano while he sings.
Sing for me. This is how you
shall earn back the money. Sing it again.
He looks to me, he actually looks at me, and even though Angela Merkel is looking at him, he looks at me like he's just got there. And just like, I'll give that a few minutes about it.
So it's all this Greek food I eat. or he's just going, sorry, can anyone pay for the cabbie? He's just waiting outside.
Hurry up, meter's running.
He'll explode a light if you don't pay him. Nice to see Angela Merkel letting her guard down, though, isn't it? Okay.
Come on, she's chilled out. She's dressed as a minion.
Very ironically, Angela Merkel dressed as a minion. Yes, after almost 17 hours of talks in Brussels, a tenuous agreement between the EU and Greece has been reached. A long, all-night thing. All-night thing. The tensest moment, by the way, of the all-night thing is when they went, "Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Could somebody get me a sugary drink?" And said, "Yeah, but that's another 20% of the tax."
We'll never be free of this.
They were all-night talks, and what they kept referring to them in the papers as marathon talks, which really just hammers it home for the Greeks. That's a big cruel irony there.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
marathon talks, because the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks won.
They did. Well, it wasn't them, was it? It was two bits of... It was Athens versus Sparta, wasn't it?
It was they were versus the Persians.
Oh, OK, they were versus the Persians.
Yeah, at the Battle of Marathon.
Can I be on that team? It's boring over here.
Really It's romance.
Ladies, in bed, I like to spoon. Anybody else do heroin? Am I guilty of being romantic? You be the judge. A bottle of champagne on ice, the dulcet voice of Luther Vandross fills the air. A trail of rose petals lead to a bed on which I'm lying naked. Bedroom door slowly opens and I whisper those three special words. Happy birthday, Dad. When women see me naked, they say I look like a Greek god. Hermaphrodite? What's he? I like my women the way I like my skis, rented. With a little wax on their bottom. I'm a very lucky man. I have an amazing wife who has given me 3 incredible blowjobs. Romance.
Thank you very much. And the topic is family. Stuart.
Before I rock the microphone, I want to I want to dedicate my performance to my father, who was a roofer. So, Dad, if you're up there. I'll tell you about my family. I'm the youngest of 3. My parents are both older, and I have mixed-race parents. My father prefers the 100 meters, and my mother's Pakistani. I was raised by my father. My mother left before I was born, and you know... I like being raised by my father. He's schizophrenic, but he's good people. I remember one summer I was 5 and he was Mussolini. Went to the park that day. I love parks. Standing in the park today wondering, why does a Frisbee appear larger the closer it gets? And then it hit me. My uncle's a hypnotist who has never inappropriately touched me. I have to leave now. I'm a member of Overactors Anonymous, and we have an Overactors Anonymous meeting that starts in...
topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
And it's relationships.
I like my women the way I like my coffee, picked by migrant workers. No, I've got a girlfriend. I've been going out with my girlfriend for... sex? My girlfriend actually thinks I'm incapable of being faithful. My wife, on the other hand, hates that joke. And I'm not ashamed of my wife. If you don't believe me, go to the car and ask her. Ask her loud. She's in the boot. Is my wife dissatisfied with my body? A tiny part of me says yes. I was previously married. I married way too young. A Chinese girl, that's her name. I remember... Way too young was so beautiful. Fab Cook, too. That was her cousin. She was hot, too. It was a good-looking family. It's thought that most men's sexual fantasy is to be involved in a threesome. And I thought it was mine until recently. I was involved in a threesome. And I'll be honest with you, my friends, I didn't like it. Halfway through, I stopped and said, listen, Rick, Jim.
The next topic is health.
Ooh, that was a long walk. Okay, health. Money-wise, I'm set for life, provided I die next Tuesday. Ladies, I wasn't circumcised, I was circumnavigated. Just because I have arthritis doesn't mean I can't live a normal whole. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic, but you know what they say. Unfortunately for agoraphobics, the cure is just around the corner. My manic depressive buddy was attacked by a bipolar bear. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that. My neighbor's in the Guinness Book of Records. He's had 43 concussions. He lives very close. In fact, just a stone's throw away, but the point. To your health, my friends.
The subject is marriage. Who wants to come into that? Stuart.
I'm not married. If I was married, would I be able to do this? For that long? I am married. My wife and I met at a castanet class where we clicked. That's not entirely funny. No, we actually met in a museum, and the rest is history. 14 more. No, we actually met at a driving range where we hit it off. Can't be true. No, we actually met in a library. That's novel. Ooh. No, actually, Wayne Rooney introduced us. It was a no-brainer. I'm only kidding. I'm not married. I am married. That's why I'm wearing the ring. Oh, no. It must have fallen off in that hooker. Anybody who's married knows what I'm talking about when I say this, that you really find out about someone after you marry them. Like, for example, my wife doesn't have a peanut allergy. No, it turns out she has a penis. That's it, she has a penis.
Topic is jobs.
Ever since my best friend became a mime, I haven't heard from him. Still has my leotard. At first, I didn't believe my father stole from his job as a lollipop man, but all the signs were there. I used to be a panto horse, but I quit while I was ahead. I worked in produce, which wasn't exactly rocket salad. I used to sell dining room chairs under the table. I worked in China repairing typewriters. I didn't like the job, but I met lots of characters. I worked in a sweatshop. It was so-so. I started a VD clinic from scratch. My topic is jobs. My work is over.
And the topic is family.
I'm homesick. Does my wife think I'm a control freak? I haven't decided yet. She used to hate that joke. Now she loves it. The other night there at a party, my wife got drunk and told everyone she invented the echo. I said, listen to yourself. I'm not thrilled that my wife's into bondage, but my hands are tied. Pretty woman. I call her Dollface because she's so pretty. And she's missing an eye. I think we were both on bumper cars when I first caught my wife's eye. Now, we actually met at a sushi restaurant, and last week we went back for old time's sake. Actually, I don't think it's pronounced that way.
Thank you very much, your father. Okay, it's work. Who is coming at that? Where you go, Stuart?
I don't think I got the job at Microsoft. They haven't responded to my telegram. I used to be a mime. It's only now I can talk about it. I was a trapeze artist, but I was let go. I was a trampoline salesman, off and on. I made clown shoes, which was no small feat. I quit my job as a taxidermist for doing a half-assed job. Surprisingly, as an accountant, I was fired after only... half an hour. I quit my job at the helium gas factory. I refuse to be spoken to in that tone.
Okay, the topic is leisure.
What's the deal with train spotters? I counted 27 of the losers today. My record's 41. My dad has a weird hobby. He collects empty bottles, which sounds so much better than alcoholic. I want to write a mystery novel. Or do I? I've written a book about a transsexual with a speech impediment. It's titled Man or Myth. I like to go to bookstores and say to the clerk, hello, I'm looking for a book titled How to Deal with Rejection Without Killing. In my spare time, I like to fart on crowded lifts, which is wrong on so many levels.
And the topic is jobs. Where you go?
Was my French teacher into golden showers? Oui. I'm a Canadian comedian, but if people think I'm Russian, Soviet. As a gynecologist, I was terrified of vaginas. I won't go into it. Very sad, I've just come back from the funeral of my coke dealer. I was fired as a Boy Scout leader. I wasn't prepared for that. I used to be a sarcastic high jump coach. Get over it! I used to be a professional table tennis player in Southeast Asia, and recently I went back for a big party. Oh, it was a real Hong Kong ping pong ding dong. Then someone fired up the old karaoke machine. Oh, it was a real Hong Kong ping pong ding dong sing song. Then someone rang the doorbell. Cops. It was the cops. I used to be a cop. One night a guy asked me if he could urinate on my wrist. I said, not on my watch.
Thank you very much. Good night!
How was Brown's week?
Pretty tricky. To be honest, let's be honest, Brown couldn't get more unpopular if he recorded a song with James Blunt called I Like to Kill Puppies with Hammers.
Yeah, just get his cock out.
John Prescott came out, didn't he? John Prescott said, well, he's irreplaceable. We have no one with the talent to replace Brown. Get a 10-pin. Yeah, I sorted out the credit crunch. I lowered interest rates. But where do you make the coffee?
The Tories aren't going to... the Tories are loving this, presumably.
Yeah.
They can't even attack Brown at this stage because he's so weak. It would actually look like bullying if they tried to make any points again.
When they did the Glasgow East by-election, the Tories, they couldn't attack Labour, but what they wanted to do was to get as few votes as possible so that the SNP would beat Labour. So Cameron turned up in Glasgow and said, Scottish people are too fat because you drink too much. And it's all your own fault. So he just sort of turned up and went, hello, Scotland, you fat bastards. But actually, their party political broadcast in Scotland was just Cameron with Kenny Dalglish in a headlock, punching him in the face with the slogan, remember, Scotland, we own you.
So amidst all these general calls for his head, what is Brown doing now?
He's on holiday.
Yes, he is.
He's gone to Suffolk.
Now, immediately, by the way, we're not saying he immediately went on holiday. They're all on holiday now.
It's a scheduled vacation.
They attacked what he was wearing. Did you see that? They attacked. They're going, oh, you know, why is he not wearing shorts and a T-shirt?
Yeah.
What do they want him in, like a Borat-style mankini?
Sorry, but I think that's the best photo I've ever seen of Gordon Brown.
Absolutely.
I think he looks really cool.
I think he looks
like George Clooney.
What are we criticising them for? It's not like they can go and have a normal holiday. Yeah. You're not going to vote for someone who goes to Corfu and spit roasts an overweight club rate.
It's hard to have a normal holiday. Like, have you heard, even in Southwold, they're planning a human chain on the promenade to protest against Brown. Imagine that. How lame is that? Oh, I'm not going to the promenade, there's a human chain. I think in this country we're just really bad at, like, kicking off. There's a fuel crisis, and I watched it on TV, and he said, here in the queue, there's talk of riots. How can you have talk of riots in a queue? Right, we're going to riot, we're going to do it in alphabetical order. Oh, I nearly rioted out of turn, then.
I think that's a brilliant idea, because I think holidays are supposed to be relaxing. They're just the most stressful thing in the world. Just leaving your home is so filled with stress, because you suddenly feel that you have to unplug everything. You suddenly feel your television will blow up in your absence, despite the fact that no one's ever heard of a television blowing up when someone's holidaying. You sleep safe and sound at bed at night, not thinking my TV could blow up. And then before you go on, have you unplugged the TV? And you unplug everything in your home, except the fridge. We trust the fridge. What is it about the fridge? You think the fridge wouldn't do this to me?
Commercials that never made it to air.
Have you got a wicked side? Then you're a prick.
Take 2 bottles into the shower. Not anymore, I've got a proper dildo.
JD Sports. 2,000 looters can't be wrong.
Do you suffer from dull, lifeless hair? Don't worry, Andy Parsons will buy it off you.
With ABS, sat-nav and airbags, this may be the most advanced condom you ever buy.
How much did you say you earned for those direct line car insurance adverts? Well, people deserve to hear about this. Honk, 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 honk.
Dara O'Brien. We work, so he doesn't have to.
Cash for cash. Send us your cash in an envelope and we'll send it back, minus commission.
Every year, thousands of bears are captured, tortured and forced to dance in front of crowds of cheering people. Call 0845 now for ticket hotline.
Ash for cash. Put your cremated relatives in an envelope.
Got that bloated feeling? My uncle had that. He was dead in a week.
Smash for cash. Put in mashed potato in an envelope.
Don't just book it, Thomas cook it. Dignitas in Switzerland.
Why have we got barbecues at low, low prices? Because the summer's been shit and no one's bought them.
At the Dogs Trust, we never put down a healthy dog. But the minute one coughs, it's in the Thames.
Do you suffer from unsightly chest hair? Should have gone to Peck Shavers.
Links. Come on, virgins, wash your cocks.
Okay, at the end of that round, points go to Chris, Hugh and Carl.
The next round is called Picture of the Week. I showed the panel a topical image and asked them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is this a picture of what Donald Trump refers to as patient zero?
Worst Stevie Wonder tribute ever.
Peter Stringfellow emerges from another cracking night at Angels.
Hands up if you made a bracelet out of some spare handbag chain.
By the reflection in her glasses, she appears to be looking at a tornado of some sort as well.
She's trying to prove she's not an ageing candidate, but she's left her napkin tucked in from dinner.
That soup gets everywhere, doesn't it?
Because people have been saying she's using a body double, haven't they? And I think, well, it's nice to see Judy Finnegan back in work.
I think the answer you're after...
Yes, Hugh? What is that?
That is Hillary Clinton.
Thank you very much, Hugh.
Yes.
She's mocking Donald Trump with her normal-sized fingers.
Yes.
Look at these.
Yes, this is a picture of US Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton in New York, where she was taken ill this week after being diagnosed with pneumonia. Is this like a huge bump in the road for her?
Well, yes, because people say, oh, no, she's got a cough. Let's elect a racist instead.
Because he's done many things, but he hasn't coughed recently.
Yeah. This idea, even if she's dying, even if she's dead, we're better off electing her. I have pulled stuff out of my shower drain that would be a better president than Donald Trump and would look better on his stupid head.
I think it's very shrewd of her to get a disease that Trump supporters definitely can't spell.
He's furiously looking to N in the medical dictionary. Maybe there's a K in front of it.
Trump's got to be careful, just keep going on about her health all the time. Look at him, right? If a heart attack was a person, it would look like Donald Trump.
But that's the problem, because you've got older candidates. I think she's 68, he's 70. Not like in England, obviously. Cameron can get in. He can rip the country in half for the sake of a power play, and boom, he's back on the after-dinner circuit before he hits 50. Nice.
What are the claims that have been made about Hillary's health?
That they're using a body double.
Yes, exactly. She's using a body. She's 2 weeks,
that it's not actually Hillary. And I think, it wouldn't be the first time that she's got someone else to do the difficult jobs for her, would it? Monica Lewinsky. Yeah.
Thank you for the clarity, brother.
Thank you. So I just spell that out.
Yes, various claims, because God love us. It turns out the internet is full of people who have these theories. She's had several strokes, apparently, and suffered some seizures, that she wears adult diapers. The National Enquirer claims she'd be dead in 6 months last September. A Republican congressman said she had special needs and was mentally impaired. Forensic pathologists suggested she is being poisoned and that she has multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, HIV, vascular dementia and lupus. These are all claims made about
all that taken into account, she's looking fucking amazing.
She is.
Donald Trump looks like he's using a body double, and it's inside of him trying to get out.
Unlikely lines from a TV detective show.
Interesting. I think it might be Fox.
Sierra, Alpha, Disco, Poker, Nipple. Actually, I've got no idea what I'm talking about.
After 7 very tedious seasons, finally things pick up on CSI Salisbury.
I want photographs of the body. I'll take an 8x10 canvas, a keyring and a mouse mat.
There are 16 different semen samples in this bed, Sarge. I should have read the TripAdvisor report on this hotel.
And as you can see from the chalk outline, the victim had a tiny head and was sitting on a giant circle. Sorry, I think that's a disabled parking space.
So your crime number is 1000000. Oh my God, you're our millionth customer! I'm really sorry what happened to your husband.
Welcome to the new detective show from the Northeast. CSYI Newcastle.
2 inches to the left, and that bullet would have gone right through your eyeball. But as it is, it went through the other eyeball.
Oh, God, I have to go to the morgue. He's always eating a sandwich. We get it, you're desensitised. Well done.
Everybody get down, because this is disco.
Look, I am genuinely sorry that your father never hugged you, but when I said, it's the police, open up,
OK, then, I suppose what we can deduce is either the victim was naked and extremely well endowed, or whoever drew this chalk outline is very immature.
On the doll, please show me where you were grabbed by the president.
Ms. Harris, I'm sorry to have to do this, but we want you to identify a body. This body did it! No, but seriously, there is a body and we think it's your fiancé.
14 bullet wounds to the head. Classic suicide.
Oh, wait. Maybe it's a man pretending to shit like a fox.
Welcome to Sunhill Police Station. I'm PC, every British actor's first TV gig, and this is Sergeant Too Ugly for Hollyoaks.
An unbelievable headline. Miliband fails to look normal while eating a bacon sandwich. That was the news in the event that day.
I like that they said his advisors stepped in. But I just imagine they stepped in and like, open wide, Ed!
I think this is good PR for him, because although they actually say that people who eat messily are very good lovers, and also they're covered in crumbs that you can use for snacks.
What does it matter if you can't eat a bacon sandwich? My dad's well good at eating sandwiches, but he'll be shit running the country.
He upset everyone, didn't he? Because he upset people by eating it badly and looking unpleasant, and he also upset the Jewish community, of which he is part, by eating a bacon sandwich. It's like for his next PR thing, he's going to hold up... He might as well just hold up a picture of Margaret Thatcher and eat a packet of Frazzles on Ramadan.
What other gaffes is he purported to have made?
He was asked to estimate how much the average family spent on food shopping, and his answer was, that depends how much you're spending, which is right. That is the right answer. And then everyone went off on one. And then they said, oh, I want a number figure. And he said between £75 and £80. And they were like, oh, no, actually, you're out of touch. It's £100. Yeah, but if he had said £150, we would be tearing a strip off him. Like, oh, what are you eating? Caviar?
It's like when you're guessing someone's age. You always go under what you think the actual answer is.
Always go lower. You don't go, what, say you're 50, 55?
What? I'm still in the school uniform.
The reason it was so cheap is in fact what he does is he buys a lot of reduced price stuff that is way past its sell-by date in case his brother comes to visit.
My theory is that he probably doesn't do the shopping. He doesn't do the shopping, and even if he does go to the shop, he probably hasn't got any money because he's always brought the wrong trousers. I had to think about that joke for quite a long time before I launched it.
I don't want him to know how much groceries are. Like, I know that. I want him to know about things I don't understand, like the economy, healthcare and spelling.
Yeah. We spend too much in my house because my boyfriend's obsessed with nectar points. So he buys whatever gives you extra nectar points because he thinks if there's an apocalypse, the nectar points are going to outlast sterling as currency. And he might be right.
You can't do that because technically you're an unsecured creditor of the supermarkets, because I got wiped out on my Nando's card. I built up 2 chickens and then they changed the point system. I was absolutely livid. And I hope you're watching, Nando's. I haven't been back since. I'm a man who takes chicken very seriously.
The thing I love about that is, like, if that was a joke, you would have said more than 2 chickens. It was clearly so small an amount that came from the heart.
No, there is no humour there. That is just genuine anger. I'm not so bothered about social justice and the NHS, but if I'm owed a free chicken, I bloody well want a free chicken.
OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is sport. Can I have somebody talk about that? Andy.
Not
quite sure what sport they're supposed to represent. They're saying, aren't they, you know, basically, we need to spend millions of pounds on this massive Olympic stadium. What are the sports we're world class at? Pool and darts. We don't need a massive stadium. We need a gigantic Weatherspoons and hold an Olympic quiz night, ladies and gentlemen. You may also have seen, right, Almunia, the Arsenal goalkeeper, he apparently has got ghosts in his Hertfordshire mansion, which he's shit scared of. Now, given that you're a goalkeeper, being frightened of white things that fly through the air, all you've got to do to frighten Almunia is just go up behind him during a corner and just go...
Hey, Michael, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's telecommunications.
From the past. What did I say? Well, yes, phone calls, of course, you phone people who you know. This is the idea. You phone people because you need to phone them, but sometimes you speak to people who you don't know, and you will have the wrong number conversation, something we all enjoy maybe 2 or 3 times a year. One of you thinks it's the right number. So you're phoning somebody who you think you know, because you don't dial numbers at random. This isn't how the system works. You don't just pick up the phone and dial the digits and go, oh, I hope it's Dave. That's not how it works, OK? It isn't Dave. I'll try again. That's not how it works. What happens is that you dial the number. Say, for example, you're calling Sue. You might have spoken to Sue earlier in the day. It might be one of those, I'll call you right back, Sue. And then the number rings, it gets picked up, hello! But you still go, Sue? Even though you're 99.9% sure that can't be Sue, you think, Sue's the only name I have. I'm going to run with Sue on this. On the off chance they go, it is Sue. Something terrible has happened to me since you called me. Thank God you phoned!
So what changes does Ed Miliband propose to bring in about voting?
Is it the 16-year-olds can vote?
Yes, absolutely, 16-years and 17-years, because that would be really weird if you just said 16-year-olds too. But then went, what, you're 17? No, you can't. It's because you've gone hormonal again. I mean, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. We don't know. You're going to
have a gap year.
Yeah, that'd be great. Gap year for voting.
Everyone has to take one.
Listen, all young people are going to have a gap year of about 40 years before they vote again anyway.
And it seems very fair that you should be able to vote at 16 in Scotland, because 16 in a lot of places in Scotland, that counts as middle age, doesn't it? So...
Yeah, to be honest, at 16, I don't think I would have been trusted myself, because my question would have been, will there be girls there? Yeah. Oh, no! I don't want to be near the girls.
Yeah, Poet Babe Station. That should have been. Whole Babe Station.
Girls there miming, voting. Oh, yeah. Excellent. You can
X my box.
How about giving 3-year-olds the vote and still having one ballot box, but 4 different shapes that they have to put through?
Does work as well as the system we have now. What do Labour want public sector employees to have to declare?
Their class.
Their class, yes. Or their class. Is it? Which is it? Oh no! I'll give myself away, haven't I? Their class.
There's 2 ways I definitely can find out if someone's working class in public sector jobs. One, put bingo pens in the stationery office. If they go, you know they're in. The other one is put on a coach trip, because my aunties, they'll go to Syria if there's a rest stop and a tour guide. Love a coach trip. Anyway.
Middle class people don't want to self-identify as middle class. They, middle class want to be, because it's more authentic. Where it's, middle class is such a bland state of affairs.
It's not bland, is it? Have you tasted some of their food? What kind of flavours going on in there? It's not bland being middle class.
Have you mistaken middle class for Indian? The naan's incredible.
We call them nans. We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig, and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey. Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot. It was
vegetable goulash.
Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have screamed that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." It's not screaming. He's not
vegan? Is there any cream over here? I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham.
Oh, we're such great mates.
It's a natural banter, which is why we put 5 people in between the two of you. The topic is driving.
Oh. I have to drive because I run like that. Now, I don't want you guys to think I'm a failure just because I live at home with my mum and dad and I'm 35 years old. Because recently, one of the things I did is I finally passed my driving test. You would not clap if you'd seen me do it. I found the whole process very stressful, and I get quite nervous about it. And people aren't very much help when you feel nervous. Like I'd say, oh, I'm feeling nervous, and they go, oh, don't be nervous. Oh, thanks very much, I hadn't thought of it like that. Where I live, when you first pass your driving test, everyone has to go on this one rite of passage drive to an out-of-town shopping centre which goes by the name of Blue Water. And so I decided I wouldn't go on my own. I thought I'd take someone with me. I'll take my dad with me because I've got a good relationship with my dad, and I thought this would be a great way to end it. And, like, the last thing my dad taught me how to do was how to box. Yeah. When I was being picked on at school. Can you imagine? And he was just standing there going, it's all right, you just got to punch my hands. Just try punching my hands. I was cowering in the corner going, no, Dad, no, I can't do it. I can't deal with confrontation. It doesn't sound right in my accent. My dad was going, oh, I thought you'd be much better at this. I mean, you've already got the silk dressing gown on and everything. So we're sat there in the car, right, and there's already a tension, and we're going along, and we come to some traffic lights, and they're red. That means you have to stop. I've done the theory test as well. Anyway, the lights went from red to amber to green, and I went to drive off, and what happened is I stalled the engine. And my dad, bless him, he turned to me, and he said, concentrate! Which is such a calming thing to say.
Thank you very much, well done, both of you. And that round of applause goes to Tessilias. Well done.
Here we go. Here's the first topic. First subject is climate change. Use in like a shot.
The problem with climate is that we're ruining the environment. You know, every year we destroy an area of rainforest the size of Belgium. Why not just destroy Belgium? No one would mind. We're desperate to find an alternative to oil. Wind is one, but what worries me about wind power is that if you cover Britain with 400,000 wind turbines, right, on a windy day, what's to stop the whole country taking off? like an enormous hovercraft and heading for France. That is European unification by the back door.
Very good, Hugh. Hugh, sit down. Congratulations. Very good. So let's have another topic. Live 8, Rory's coming in like a shot.
This is Live 8 this week. Bob Geldof's big thing was to persuade people to go to Edinburgh by boat. Right. Okay, because the first 20 miles are easy, the rest you're going to carry the boat on your shoulders. They're trying to get a million people up to Edinburgh. Elton John's not going, he's sending flowers. And it's a whole G8 Live 8 thing where the world's richest 8 nations get to meet the world's 8 richest rock stars.
Rory, well done, sit down. Let's have another topic. Okay, reality TV. Who wants to get in?
Me.
Oh, hang on.
Just a second, though. 12 calories. Well, you probably realise that the 487th series of Big Brother has just started. Problem to me with Big Brother is that when someone gets voted out of the house, they don't actually have a sniper up in a tree with one bullet, just to see how they do. Now, I actually applied for Celebrity Love Island, but...
You can sit down now if you want to. That's
Here we go. The first subject is kids. Who wants to come in on that?
Ah, sweet.
Ebra.
Sorted. Know about this now. Ah, yes, kids. I became a dad 9 months ago, and I haven't let it change my life completely. In that, well, the one thing I'm worried about is I don't want to be one of those people who prefaces a statement with the phrase, "Speaking as a parent." Speaking as a parent. Gather round, everyone. He's speaking as a parent now. Quick, come in. No, bring in the people from the other room. He's speaking as a parent. No, he was only speaking as an arsehole before. Now he's speaking as a parent. Yes, oh, sage one, speak. Tell us your wisdom. Impart your knowledge. Speaking as a parent. Doesn't it make you want to stab them as a maniac? Because the thing is, you read the books. There's loads of books you can buy on being a parent. That's why, there's millions of books, in fact. That's why I get really annoyed when people use that excuse for their bad parenting. They always come, oh, well, you know, kids, they don't come with an instruction manual, do they? No. You have to buy one. They're like £7. But with the books, the one thing the books warned me about, it hasn't turned out to be a problem. Books warn me that sometimes the man can become jealous of the affection the woman gives the child. I've not had... The only issue I've had in that direction is that when I burp, I get frowned at, and when he does it, he gets a round of applause. That's not fair. So why is his win so much more important and exciting than mine? My wife has spent anything up to an hour trying to get wind out of him. Will she pull my finger? No, she will not.
Here's a quote from Mingus. If you ever put me in one of those ham slicing machines, you'd find the top half Liberal and the bottom half Liberal Democrat. You're kind of going...
What an incredible thing to say.
Well, A, who goes into a ham slicing machine for a start? So surely you mean in one of those machines that cuts you in half, not one that slowly grinds it out through a series of really tiny slices.
He'd still be alive after this. I mean, it just shows you he is a zombie.
That would be amazing.
No wonder you couldn't kill him on that part of Resident Evil.
That would be great. At the conference, and they said, "Please welcome our leader," and everyone's expecting a very boring speech once more. Menzies Campbell, whatever he's called, and his legs come out 2 minutes before his body. Liberal Democrat, come on, bring on the cheeky girl.
He's got a 4% approval rating, Campbell, which is nothing, right? So they could just have anybody lead them. It's not going to make any difference. So I say, come on, let's get Lee from Blue. He's not going to be any worse.
He's looking for a gig.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
And also his policies aren't going to come into force and say whatever he wants. I think that the homosexuals should declare war on the robots. Doesn't matter. Lee from Blue, bit of a laugh.
And also his name is very odd. His name is Mingus.
Mingus, yes. Goss. Yeah, Mingus.
Yeah, but it's pronounced... It's spelled M-E-N-Z-I-E-S.
Yes.
Well, why are you looking at me like I'm insane? That's Menzies. Menzies. Yeah. John Menzies. But apparently... Menzies. Apparently don't go, let's go to John Mingus. They don't do it. But what do you do? Martina Hingis. Martina Hingis. Why are you still looking at me like I'm not making sense? It's a G, not a Z.
Because I'm waiting to turn on me and my crazy ethnic name.
When they were growing up, it's Men Z. That's not G. When they were growing, there's fundamentally something wrong with this man. He can't speak. He doesn't understand his own name. When he was growing up, hello, Ming, shall we go to the Goo and see the Gebra? What are they talking about? Should we catch Gulu Dawn and maybe get to Gingerburger? It's a nonsense.
What's going on here?
It's just Nigel Farage hailing a cab.
That is Nigel Farage attempting to get out of a car via the window. Still the most sensible exit he's ever negotiated.
That's the first time a cab driver's ever turned round and gone, actually, mate, I find what you're saying a bit offensive.
What's very creepy about this is that if you look in the reflection of the car at the back there, you can see there's a bald man, and then if you look in the front of the car, he's there as well.
It's a bit suspicious that he's resigned at the same time as Cameron and Johnson.
And Chris Evans.
Do you think they're going to be presenting Top Gear? Yeah. Very, very like the old one. So Cameron would wear the flowery shirts, Boris would do the stunts, and the Farage would just be horrible to foreigners. Exactly the same format.
No, he resigned this week as leader of UKIP. Here he is, there's another photograph that was at the weekend at a garden party with Rupert Murdoch, wearing a pair of shoes that, frankly, the bowling alley would like back. Because, there's a clean-up in aisle 3. Who's thrilled with him leaving?
Everyone. Yeah.
OK.
Sadly, not.
I'm not thrilled with him leaving.
You're not thrilled with Farage leaving? No, you think he should stay and clear up the mess?
Yeah, I think he just left, didn't do his job. They've all left. They've all messed up and they've all left.
But it's going to be a quality celebrity Big Brother in Jan, isn't it?
Who's running the country at the moment?
Mandelson, Peter Mandelson, Darth Mandelson.
Yes.
Do you know what nobody ever says about him? He's gay and he's a lord. He's a gay lord.
What's wrong there? To be honest.
He's been running the country, but he's been in Corfu, then we're getting handed over to Alistair Darling, to Jack Straw. We're like the school hamster. I wouldn't be surprised if Alistair Darling leaves our gate open and we're found dead under a bookcase. Basically, we're 2 car crashes and a vomiting virus away from Andy Townsend running the country. Hi, I'm Andy Townsend. I've got the vomiting virus, so I'm handing over to Chris Akabusi.
Nobody's running the country. And the papers have roughly the same tone you have, which is nobody's running the country, as if the country is heading towards rocks and somebody has to steer it away. In the last month, right, the FTSE has gone up 10% since they all went on holiday. The weather is better and the football starts at the weekend. So frankly, I think it's working out fine without them in charge.
Hey, get rid of them all, kill them all, install the clangers, at least we'll get soup.
There were some beautiful photos of Mandelson on holiday that were just so lovely. Proper British man red. Did you see any of those? He looked like he'd been left on a George Foreman grill. And some of the photos of him as well, the clothes he's wearing, he looked like he'd just been fried and then just flung into Matalan. You just see him sort of walking along like that. It was some of the most...
Not only did he go to Corfu, on his way home he stopped off for 2 days to visit his parents in Mordor. How terrifying would it be for Mandelson to stay in your house? Have you seen Peter today? No, I don't know. He dematerialised and then fled into the air vents. I think if you want him to appear, you have to stamp twice and say his real name.
When Manson leaves, does a small woman come into your house and go, the house is clean?
Imagine him turning up at your holiday. Imagine seeing Mandelson on the beach. There's people on the banana boat, look like they're having a good time. Have them assassinated. Then bring me an enormous vibrating egg.
I was intrigued by the fact that Theresa May ran a campaign, a successful campaign to become Prime Minister by doing and saying nothing for about 6 weeks and just watching everyone else die. It was like the one that we've learned is how Theresa May plays Call of Duty, which is online. Theresa just finds a place to hide, holds up with the shotgun, lets the killing commence, pops out lurking, pam pam pam, gone, back in again.
My big worry with Theresa May is that she might smile and it'll be winter forever.
But the crazy thing about Theresa May is obviously that hardly anyone has voted for her. Like, I think it's 165 MPs have got her into power. Yeah. I think there are more members of the So Solid crew than have voted her into power.
You weren't elected, were you, to this position,
Darren? I wasn't. I stole it in a bloody coup. And would do it again, my friend. Yeah. People have disappeared from the show, Miles, and would again, for raising those exact kind of questions.
Well, I'm just I'm just saying.
Where's Frankie now? Where's Russell now? Gone.
You will be dragged through the streets, Dara. You will be dragged through the streets like Gaddafi.
There are
then they'll be laughing.
Oh, there are 5 regulars on the show. How many regulars now? Just poor weak Hugh. Poor weak Hugh, who I own. Hugh will always give the correct answer when I ask him to, won't you, Hugh? Won't you, Hugh?
Your shoes are almost polished.
Thank you, Hugh. Hugh knows what's right for him. In other news...
I think you're terrific on the megabus, sir.
There's no being sarcastic here, Hugh.
And there goes the final regular.
Just me. You people. How many European Union member states rejected Prime Minister Theresa May's plans for Brexit? What do you think of the EU leaders' response to Theresa May's checkers plan?
It's not a surprise, is it? She knew they were going to reject it, but she went there on a sort of charm offensive, but she's Theresa May, so she decided just to do without the charm and just really double down on the offensive.
She's always got the look of someone that's selling dodgy electrical gear at a car boot sale.
I can't watch it anymore. I just find it too cringy of just watching all the EU leaders get on well, apart from her. She reminds me too much of what I was like in secondary school at a party, and that you're expecting in a minute that she's going to like look at the EU's CD collection.
Just in a corner somewhere, going.
I thought about this the other day, like, what are we going to be talking about when we're not talking about Brexit? And then I thought, we're not going to have time to talk. I would be too busy mugging old ladies for their penicillin prescriptions.
Here's the 3 main things I'm worried about in the trade deal.
OK.
Orangina, pom bears and French kissing. In that order, if we can secure all those things, I'm happy to go ahead with checkers.
Well, one of them is that it might affect flights to other EU countries. And again, I just think that's going to be the last thing we're worried about under a no-deal Brexit when we're, you know, too busy sucking off a greengrocer for a cabbage.
In the first morning, surely. Let us get to the end of the week before we have to fillet retailers just to get
Why didn't the
bits of
Remain
provision?
campaign put that on a bus?
Yeah.
Because I'd be scared about the amount
A
of
picture of a hearty greengrocer. What do you do for this? What will you do to get your hands on this after Brexit?
I mean, that raises a lot of questions. The first being, how much do you like cabbage, Andrew?
I mean, I've done that maybe for a cauliflower, but I'm
No,
not
but
sure.
I really like sucking off greengrocers.
Well, that's an upside anyway, I suppose.
You're lucky if you can find one these days.
Tell me about it, Hugh.
This is the most English conversation.
OK, sucking off chip shop owners.
Someone tell Larry what a cabbage is.
He has so far threatened North Korea with total annihilation.
He said that total annihilation is... He's not taking that off the list of possible...
He's looked at the various possibilities, hasn't he?
Total annihilation remains one of the possible options. Yeah.
Apparently China said to Trump, don't turn the North Korean president from dictator to martyr, and Trump said, we say tomato.
Does Kim Jong-un really believe that the US wants to invade North
yes,
Korea?
he's been told this for years, yeah.
But I mean, it's so insane. That's like Piers Morgan having a birthday party and hiring bouncers. It's like, no one's coming, Piers.
Who's in the middle of all this? Who's
in the middle of all this?
China?
The whole of the rest of the world.
South Korea. It's Japan.
Japan! Yeah, Japan, yeah.
Japanese, and they fired...
Because they fired it over Japan. In the same week that they did the underground test, they also fired a missile that landed over Japan. They tipped it over
not
them like
on Japan.
Not on Japan, but
so really it's the
Japan.
Pacific Ocean that needs to work.
Yes, they fired a possible nuclear weapon into an ocean near Japan, which we as well know has animal life in it that reacts badly to having nuclear weapons fired at it. And I think we've seen enough documentary footage of giant...
Do you know this because you're the science man?
I'm the science man, and for God's sake, listen to me. There's a lizard out there, and it's going to attack me. Why can't you people listen to me? I know it sounds crazy.
We can't close the beaches. It's Labor Day weekend.
But my wife dies in the remake. start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of David Cameron. But what does CEPL stand for?
Is it just a description of what he's like? Is it conservative, Etonian, posh, la-di-da?
Is it crap Elvis prowls London?
Is it the essential conundrum that is Cameron, cyclist employs private limo driver?
Is it Cameron employed in parking lot?
Well, close. Slightly more sinister. Mine was going to be, he started a new car wash and he's going, clean everything, Polish lad.
Mine's is slightly more sinister again. Cameron enjoys penetrating ladyboys.
That is, you're right. Slightly more sinister than employing a Polish man to clean cars. Yeah.
Is it Cameron 80% lizard? You put a mouse near him, straight away.
So, would the tongue just come out there?
Yeah.
Was he holding a fly on the end of his finger? John, I have to give you a clue. The C doesn't stand for Cameron.
Conservatives.
There we go. That's what the C stands for. Not particularly difficult leap.
Enjoy.
Pointing lots. No, not pointing lots. Conservatives
extend poll lead.
Very good. Well done. Thank you very much, Judah. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Conservatives extend poll lead. This is the news that David Cameron's party are now further ahead of Labour than at any point since the height of the economic crisis last September, increasing pressure on Gordon Brown.
We've got to remember with this poll, right, it's just a survey. Surveys mean nothing. Right, the Liberal Democrats got 18%. Nick Clegg got 18%. Who is he? When he tells his mum he's coming round for tea, she looks him up on Wikipedia.
Now we play a round called Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. This game involves Lucy, Greg, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. That is just against nature. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the first topic is Britain. Who wants to come in on that?
Yes, I love Britain. Do you? Kind of. I think Britain's amazing, but I think we're quite hard on ourselves. Like, if you go to America and you do shows, they always get this thing where you go on stage in America, like in Chicago, and you say, oh, so what's Chicago like? And they go nuts. They go, woo, yeah, Chicago, woo, 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 for about a day. And then you come back over to Britain and you go to somewhere like Birmingham and you say, oh, so what's Birmingham like? And they all go, oh, it's a bit shit. I live in London, in Britain. I live in Kentish Town, which is lovely because it is actually like a Kentish town. Unfortunately, the town in Kent it's like is Maidstone, which is crap. North London's quite posh, though, because there's a hairdressers near us, which is called the Elysian Fields Hairdressers. Oh, it's where heroic hair goes to die. Isn't that it? Where I used to live in South London, the hairdresser was called We're Going to Cut You, Slag.
Thank you, Ashley Porter. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quickly.
Thank you very much, Ali Parsons. OK, that leaves us with Greg and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, Greg, let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is the human body.
I have to tell you that being a tall man in this country is tedious, ladies and gentlemen. Tedious, because in small towns throughout the country, there are a series of jokes prepared by the locals on our behalf. I'll be walking innocently into a local pub or down the street, and I'll get several jokes. One of the jokes might be this. Just to give you an example of the level we're talking about. Another joke might be, what's the weather like up there? It's freezing. There's a massive climate change in this amount of space here, you toothless buffoon. Probably the most offensive example of this is genuine. I was at a cash point and there was a little old woman in front of me at the cash point tapping away with her claws, and I'm sorry, I'm just quite angry about this. And when she'd finished, bless her heart, she turned around and she hadn't seen me. She turned around and she went like this. Oh! Maybe not that sexually. She said, oh! And then with no hint of irony at all, she asked me this question. Would you like a job at my house, changing light bulbs? No. No, old woman. I have plans of my own. Now, get out of the way of the cash point. 20 minutes is long enough for you to have worked out that that's a Tesco club card.
Thank you very much, Greg. At the end of that round, the points go to Greg and Lucy. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Greg, which category would you like?
Science, please.
OK, science is the category. The answer is 40 years. What's the question?
What is the average waiting time at Glasgow A&E on a Friday night?
Is it for how long would I happily follow Beyoncé up an impossibly tall ladder?
Is it how long would it take to cook John Prescott?
Is it?
Medium rare.
Yeah. What is the youngest my balls have looked?
Is it how much older does Dara look than Russell?
Is it, on average, how long does it take me to knock one out to loose women?
Genuinely, depends who's on the panel, I feel. That average can sway quite a lot.
The day you were on it was fantastic.
I'm doing it next week, and what I really don't want is to be thinking, oh, what's Frankie Ball doing right now?
You'll be thinking... it's a safe bet, Lucy. To be honest, even if I'm not watching it, it's just that time of day.
What duration did Michael Jackson's agent initially plan for his run at the O2 Arena?
How long is it going to take me to raise the finance for my self-penned disaster porno film, 6911?
It's about space.
It's about space.
It's about space. I know the answer. Hugh, please, I know the answer. Is it for how many years has Buzz Aldrin looked in the mirror and gone, it should have been me?
That is essentially the answer. Do you want to give the answer slightly more?
It's 40 years since we landed on the moon.
Very good. Well done, Russell. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was how long is it since man first set foot on the moon, as celebrated this week. It was on July the 21st, 1969, that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot on the lunar surface, whilst the third member of the Apollo 11 crew, Michael Collins, waited in the spaceship. Collins later said he was sweating like a nervous bride.
It's such an interesting fact because, like, we've only really, a lot of the population just found out that there was a third guy. You're like, oh, really? really? Oh, cool. How tempted would he have been just when they were coming back just to put on an alien mask like that? So he went, hey, you never guess what the...
Before we move on, can I get this straight? We're going to talk about this like the moon landings happened?
Yes, we're presuming for the sake of this establishing that the moon has actually happened.
In 1969, right, they took off and went, oh, let's point out the moon. Let's land in the moon. Oh, there's the moon. Oh, time's up. Let's take off from the moon. Go back to Earth. Let's point it. We don't want to miss Earth. NASA can't launch a rocket from here without blowing it up. Their next mission is called Operation Spacegrave. We, as a culture, do not have the ability to get to the moon. We don't have the ability to get a Saturday show right for Graham Norton. What else are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about Aslan's birthday, are we? Mrs. Tiggy Winkle having a wedding anniversary. It didn't fucking happen.
It did happen. There was a faked moon landing, but you are confusing it with the one by Wallace and Gromit.
Their current theory is that what they want to do is try and make a stopping off station on the moon so as they can get to Mars. And that sounds to me rather like a Ryanair flight, isn't it? Oh, yes, we're flying to Mars, we actually land on the moon, and there'll be a bus service from there.
Doesn't going to the moon and going to Mars seem a bit pointless now that we've invented Photoshop? Hey, there's a man on Mars, and it's Bruce Lee.
They've actually found that they've got a little bit of Mars back, haven't they? And they've actually found that there is life on Mars in the form of bacteria. So now we know that if the Martians ever do land, all we've got to do, little bit at Sillet Bang, we're away.
It'd be a very short film, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
War of the Worlds. And just Tom Cruise cleaning his kitchen. End of War of the Worlds. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is deleted lines from a fantasy film.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the heir to Isildur and part of the Fellowship of the Ring. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ron had been suffering from swine flu, and people were avoiding him. Luckily, he was ginger and he was used to it.
I don't know why you're so upset, Harry. The original Dumbledore died 3 films ago and no one gave a shit.
Did you find Narnia in the wardrobe? No, Edmund. We found your porn stash.
My friends, we will never hear the word Mordor again. Taggart has been cancelled.
No, Harry, it's not a 5-headed dog. It's girls allowed. Me.
I am Aslan, formed by the merger of Asda and Matalan.
We had only been there for a day, but to us it felt like 15 years. That's Birmingham.
Did you honestly think I could be defeated by someone younger? I am Arlene Phillips!
Welcome to Mordor, twinned with Swansea.
This will never work, Frodo.
In the wardrobe, we found a magical compartment that led to the Fritzl family.
He stole it from me, my precious... Oh, no, it's in my pocket.
You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
I'm not a dwarf, I'm a lesbian.
The next topic is things you don't want to hear from your flatmate.
That's my milk in the fridge. I squeeze it out of my tits with a vice.
No, we can't share the electricity bill. I've got a phone charger and a laptop, and you're on a life support machine.
My last flat was just like Friends. Have you seen the one where Joey kills everybody?
I love talking to you. With you, I can...
be my real self.
There's just two of us. Well, three if you count God.
I'd give it 10 minutes in the toilet if I were you. That one could talk.
Well, if you don't think I'm a nosy bastard, why did you write that in your diary?
Oh, that's just a novelty shower gel in the shape of a webcam.
Hey, you said there wasn't enough room to swing a cat. Look at this. Loads of room.
Oh, a Mr. G had called. He says it's time.
I don't see why I should pay for half the loo roll when I never use any.
I'll tell you what, that Hoover is powerful.
OK, there's one certain way to find out who ate my yoghurt: an AIDS test.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Lucy and Andy!
And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Lucy Porter and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Frankie Boyle, Hugh Janet and Greg Davis. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. OK, here we go. In the week in which the government called for stricter driving tests, things you wouldn't hear on a driving test.
When I slap the dashboard with my forehead, I'd like you to crawl out of the wreckage and fetch help.
OK, when I give you the signal, I want you to wind the window down and call the cyclist a wanker.
Right, when I say go, foot down, straight through the jewellers, get where you can.
You made one mistake, sir. A Pine air freshener doesn't cover up the smell of a dead hitchhiker.
Well, if she doesn't get up, you've definitely failed.
Well, at least we know the airbags work.
When there's nobody else on a motorway, you should always drive in the middle lane, just in case you fall asleep, you've got a bit longer.
If I fail, can I still keep driving my taxi?
Me in a car. Can't believe it.
On my signal, I'd like you to mount the pavement and kill my ex-wife.
The first subject is unlikely things to read in a Valentine's Day card.
I may be dyslexic, but that doesn't mean I don't value.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got something nasty, and now so do you.
You make me so hot, I can't stop thinking about you. Lots of love, Mum.
Happy Valentine's Day on this 24th of February. Love, Royal Mail.
You're the perfect person for me. Pissed and gagging for it.
Be my Valentine or die in a well.
I love your eyes, I love your nose, I love your smell. Why must you be a Labrador?
Do we have to go through this shit every year?
You make my pants hot. Yours, Omar Farouk Abdul Muttalib.
To my darling wife, roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day is consumerist bullshit. Now, haven't you got some ironing to do?
Roses are red. Poppies are red. The grass is all red. Shit, the garden's on fire!
I'm a bit of a man for the ladies. Doesn't matter how clearly the gents are signposted.
I love you so much. I love you like no other. But never again les up with my mother.
Life with me, baby, is like a roller coaster. It's got a weight restriction.
There are just 3 words I want to say. Dream on, bitch.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a royal correspondent to say.
Isn't it wonderful to see Prince Charles being made king at the age of 137?
And the Queen there majestically taking her place in the queue to withdraw her savings from Northern Rock.
The Queen asked me if I was from the BBC. I said I was, and she told me to piss off.
There we see Prince Philip going over to talk to a man from China. This should be interesting.
In fact, it's the Chinese premier, and he's just asked him for a menu.
Prince Harry hasn't been put off by the congestion charge. He says he still manages to come into Chelsea twice a day.
Well, the crowd are absolutely loving this event. The night sky is dancing with light. Yes, the Queen set fire to Windsor Castle again.
It's great to see the whole family waving from the balcony through the sights of my AK-47.
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board, 6 categories. Hal, which category would you like?
Sport.
OK, the category is sport. The answer is yoga, sushi and ice. What is the question?
Is this what Eric Pickles uses to deal with trapped wind?
Is it what would the 3 wise men have brought Jesus if he was born in Notting Hill?
You think your Chinese tattoo says keep the faith. What does it actually mean?
Is it in fact just what does Madonna smell of?
Is it 16 years from now, what will my son tell me when I ask him what A-levels he's doing?
Is it name 3 things Nigella won't be asking Charles Saatchi to pay for anymore?
Is it Pingu's Rider?
He does nothing. I'm doing nothing until I get more sushi in here.
What is the strapline to the hit Japanese television programme? The loose-limbed fish eaters of the Arctic.
Is it what answer will you get if you ask Paris Hilton to name the elements?
Is it, if you own a bar in Soho, what should you call it to guarantee it'll always be chock full of wankers?
Is it simply what are 3 things which are very difficult to sell door to door?
It is name 3 things that can make you lose the feeling in your legs.
Sushi. Yeah. Do you know what sushi actually is?
Is it what Andy Murray uses to keep up his training regime?
It absolutely is. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for, name 3 things that were part of Andy Murray's preparations for his historic Wimbledon win. This is news that in scorching temperatures, Andy Murray defeated the world number 1 Novak Djokovic to become the first British man in 77 years to win the Wimbledon men's singles final. An integral part of helping Murray achieve his success was his health and fitness regime, which included yoga, a 6,000 calorie a day sushi-rich diet and post-match ice baths. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it?
Did I watch the ice bath?
The ice bath. No, that wasn't broadcast.
Apparently, he actually has ice baths in a wheelie bin. And I think that can't be enjoyable, can it? Particularly if he does it on a Tuesday and gets carried away by the cancer.
It was a historic moment because it was after years of naysaying, years of doubt, years of, can it be done? After 77 years, Andy Murray proved that Scottish people can operate in that temperature.
I know, by the way, I know that last year Andy came into the studio after after not winning the final. It's kind of become a little tradition, and I don't want to make a big thing of it, but he's in the back of the room tonight there, enjoying the show so far, Andy, laughing away there. Yes, ha 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 ha! Don't freeze frame it. It gives it away. Gives it away. We sent the invitation.
He's had a shave since the final. It's amazing.
We're laughing away. He loved that one. Did you like that one as well, Andy? Do you think that's very funny? Laughing away. Very, very good.
The fact that the bloke who was here last year behind him's come back again.
Good to have him back as well. Good to have Terry there. Hiya, Terry. Good to have you here. Our next topic is likely things to hear on a breakfast show.
If the woman I picked up last night is watching, help yourself to cereal, but get out of the flat by the time I get home.
And now it's time for Thought for the Day. That was a good one.
You're listening to Six Music. Yes, you. Just you.
Welcome to Travel Report. We've got a text here from Dave on the M5 who says, ha ha ha, every morning you leave for work, I pop round and shag your wife.
So if you're trying to get in via Junction 2, stop it. It's against nature and the Bible says no.
We speak to Fern Britton about having her stomach stapled, this time to an enormous chocolate cake.
In other traffic news, if you're on the M11 headed towards Middlesbrough, I would turn around because it's a shithole.
Hello, I'm doing a survey into the effects of replacing milk on your Weetabix with Red Bull!
And we can see there's been an accident northbound on the M1, and it is a beauty.
Welcome to Radio Tourette's, you shit monkeys.
You may think of it as a breakfast show. I had mine at 4:30.
Later, Vanessa Feltz will be joining me on the settee, and I'll be bouncing through the fucking ceiling.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Jack. Now we play a round called You've Got to Be Corbinit to Win It. This game involves Nathan Caton and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nate.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's gonna slap the black off me when she sees this. So yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment. Mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is like right next door, so like every time they do it, I hear everything. Like a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night, I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
Well done. Jenna and quite good. Ed Gamble! Come on back. Now we play a round called Don't Put Your Nuts on the Road. This game involves Ed, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is homelessness. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I had a really great incident with the homeless bloke the other day. That sounds fairly dodgy. It was really, it's weirdly uplifting. So I gave him £1 and I was kind of walking away and he went, "Oh, mate, I've got a magic dog." Now that is a sentence that buys you half an hour with me, right? And he had sick all down him, this dog, right? And the homeless bloke had sick down him as well. And I was like, "What happened?" And he went, "Oh, we was asleep in the skip and some bloke chucked up on us." It's the most depressing thing you've ever heard. And he just looked at me and went, "No. It was amazing." Like, really? Why is that? And apparently what he did, still covered in sick, he stood up in that skip and just went, "Aah!" So this bloke was so drunk he thought his vomit had come alive. That man will never, ever drink again. Beer, Dave, it comes alive! It comes alive! Lovely moment.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is taxis. Who wants to come in that?
One thing I don't miss about London is London cabbies. I used to live in Muswell Hill, a leafy suburb of London, about 6 miles north of here. That's what I thought when I bought the house. I get into a black cab in London's fashionable West End. Turned out I lived in the arsehole of nowhere. Because I'll get into a black cab and I'll go, Muswell Hill, please, and I'll get this. I go, no, mate, I'm not going that way. Like he thinks it's a bus he's driving. What do you mean you're not going that way? I'm not asking for a lift. You know, whenever I get this now, I just get in anyway. I go, right, fair enough. Where do you want to go? Oh, it spins them right out, that does, doesn't it? You what? Come on, where do you want to go? I'm paying. No, mate, doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Muswell Hill, please.
Thank you very much, Ed OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Andy to spin the wheel. The next topic is transport.
I think the moral of that story is never ride your horse on a runway. You're, of course, not supposed to take planes anymore, not a problem for me. The thing that always mucks me up, that little monitor that you get, you know, outside air temperature, minus 56 degrees. I am inside the aircraft. I have no intention of going outside the aircraft. And if I ever did find myself outside the aircraft, my initial response would not be, ooh, bit nippy.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's see what's been left for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. It's celebrity. There you go.
It was the anniversary of Elvis's death recently. People still think that Elvis faked his death. Surely if you were going to fake your death, you wouldn't do it in a shitting accident. I mean, you'd do something brave, wouldn't you? Rescue a wee boy from a river. Surely not a jobby-related heart attack. We had the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. I thought that at the concert, only Ricky Gervais paid a true tribute to Diana by dying a painful and horrible death. You can get celebrity sat-navs now. You can get a Princess Diana sat-nav. It just keeps saying, put your foot down, I think we can lose them. I'll be honest with you, that joke can go either way.
Thank you all. OK, at the end of that round, I give the points to Russell and Andy. It is identity theft.
The simplest things now you can't do without the threat of identity fraud. Like getting a passport. I went to get a new passport, queued for 2 hours, got to the front of the queue, they said, sorry, you can't use this photo, it's not valid. Why? Your face is too big. My face is normal. It's a normal size, bit of a beaky nose, but I can't stab someone with that. Because of terror, there's all these rules now for passport photos. Your face can't be too close to the camera. You can't be smiling too much. You can't have a hat on, gun, all this, right? What do you mean my face is too big? OK, immigration officials, maybe not the brightest people in the world. Are they really going to look at your passport and go, yeah, that looks like you, except this man's face is massive? If this was you, you'd be a bloody giant.
Well done, Mark. OK, let's spin the wheel again. And the subject is terror threat. Joe Coffey.
I've been given quite a lot of thought to the whole suicide bomber situation. Now, what I'm thinking about particularly is their award of 72 virgins, because I think they haven't really thought this through. Because what the suicide bomber is imagining as a virgin may be very different in reality. Because do you know who's also a virgin? My Auntie Joyce in Dublin. She's 67 and lives with 14 cats. I don't think that's what they've got in mind. But I think that would truly be divine justice. You've blown yourself up, you get to heaven, what's your reward? My Auntie Joyce. And she's keen. She's waited a long time. When you've done me, there's 71 of my friends from the church need doing as well. You'll have to do Bridget from behind. She's on a Zimmer frame now.
Joke of here! Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK. As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. I said, now listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tiff Tiverton. Come on back, both of you. And the first topic is health. Who wants to come out? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They're really nice to me. They're really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy. Which is good because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, OK? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway. Before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in the hope it would be poured back into my body at a later date. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." And I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Miss Kumar. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. And the topic is transport.
When I was at school, my bike was smashed up. It was my own fault, really. I just handed out leaflets saying, "Bullying, let's break the cycle." "We've been over this again and again and again," said my driving instructor, pointing to the badger. Apparently, there is actually a road in the north of England called Quality Street. And there's only one person living in it, and he's both Turkish and delightful. Tricky, isn't it? If you're both a moth and a sea captain. In charge of a ship. But up ahead, you see a lighthouse. You know you shouldn't. Toilets in trains are rubbish, aren't they? Especially the one right at the front, and the bloke in there gets so cross.
And the points go to Mish Kumar. Come on back. First subject is language. Who wants to come in with that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" And they all went, "Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip." "Well, why didn't you say something before?" "Well, I couldn't, could I?" "You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you." "Oh, really? How?" Bantu, the Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using the throat and the tongue and constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horses. They're screwed, really, isn't it?
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. From what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
Interviews. Who wants to come in that? OK. Matt.
Go for that. It's
It's fascinating watching different politicians and how they deal with interviews. Ed Miliband, when he gets asked a question he doesn't like, will just have this amazing technique where he'll just ask himself a new question and answer that instead. And it really works. He got asked before the election by Nick Robinson. Mr Miliband, you've said you'll set a new mansion tax if you become Prime Minister, but you won't yet tell us at what rate you would set it. And Miliband just went, look, Nick, if you're asking me, have I got a plan for the housing market, then the answer's yes. It's amazing. Farage is one of the best ones at it, because no matter what you ask him, he'll get a political answer in some way. You could say, Nigel, what you had for breakfast, mate? And he'd go, tea, toast and the Telegraph, great British breakfast. He always manages to get his messages across. Boris Johnson is fascinating because he just loves avoiding questions, and he uses a twin-track approach of flattery and Latin. And this genuinely works. If he was here now, you could say, Boris, come on, just admit it. You want to be Prime Minister. And he'd go, oh, no, let me just say, great to be here amongst such great learned people on this crucible of culture. Reminds me very much of a phrase my father used to use, divitas, divitum, rectum.
Well done, Matt. Very good. OK, so James is left. Let's see what he's been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is Britain.
I wish I was Mexican. Love everything about... I love Mexican food. My favourite place to eat is a Mexican restaurant called Oaxaca. All you need to know about Oaxaca, everyone steals their spoons. So much so that every January, Oaxaca have a spoon amnesty on. You bring back one of the stolen spoons, and then they reward you with free tacos. Genius. Not only do they get their spoons back, they also get to watch while the thieves eat tacos, which I imagine have been interfered with beyond belief. Love Mexican food, love Mexican music. Mariachi music, best music in the world. Top 3 mariachi songs. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3, nothing, because there are no other mariachi songs. Ever been to a mariachi nightclub? It's full of people just going up to the DJ like, hey man, have you got yeah, I'll play it next. How about open your ears, I'm playing it right now. You can request that song during the next one. Growing up in school, I was the only kid in my whole school who liked mariachi music. It was a nightmare. I couldn't walk down the corridor without some knob knocking my sombrero off my head, stepping on the back of my poncho on the way in a maths class. Once, a kid wrote Chimichanga Bum Boy across my forehead while I was having my post-lunch siesta. He also drew a moustache on my face, but to be fair, that played into my hands.
Bravo, very good. It's close, but for sticking to the topic, James Acaster gets the points. Well done to both of you. Come on back. The subject is family. Who wants to come out of that? Russell.
So, it wasn't easy growing up trying to be a little liberal kid in the most right-wing family in the whole of my town. My dad was the most right-wing person I knew, but always quick to point out, I'm not racist, but. That was the danger word. I'm not racist, but. Or the latest remix, which is even more innocuous and dangerous. All I want to do is have a sensible discussion about immigration. Yeah? Isn't it? All right, no one with that face wants a sensible discussion about anything. I just want to have a sensible little chat in the back of that transit van over there, yeah? Me and my brothers, the rest of your family, Mr. Woollam-a-Woollam-along, whatever your bloody name is, mate, yeah? Get in the van, right? My dad even managed to be prejudiced about my first car decision. How do you even achieve that? By British or German. Do not bring Crappanese onto my driveway, boy. Not only that, but I chose a hybrid car. Part electric, part petrol, papa. Right? Another question mark hanging over my sexuality. It's the noise of it when it drove off. Thanks for Sunday lunch. Bye, Daddy. Thank you.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
I used to work at a Christian rock festival selling toasties. The best day was when I sold this Jewish bloke some yellow ham. My dad was a dustman. I didn't like him coming to collect us from school, though. Not because I was ashamed he was a dustman, it's just you never knew which day he was going to come. The rest of my family were police marksmen. Apart from my grandfather, he was a bank robber. He died quite recently, surrounded by his family. My uncle, he's a police frogman. No, sorry, he's a French policeman. I used to work in a supermarket. It was my job to hand out samples of things for people to taste. But I was asked to leave after the little cups of bleach incident. After that, I worked in a pathology lab, but I was asked to leave after one of my reports said, cause of death, autopsy.
And the first topic is home life. Nate.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's gonna slap the black off me when she sees this. So yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment. Mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is like right next door, so like every time they do it, I hear everything. Like a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night, I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, Reverend Denton. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently. Anyway, I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food flew from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in. A UN flag came out.
Well done, Gemma and Parker. Gamble! Come on back. The next topic is charity. Joe, you know for that?
All this talk of famine makes you a bit peckish, doesn't it? It's comic relief, right? Keep asking me if I'll go out to Africa, you know, to sort of comfort people. But how are they going to feel with me getting off the plane? Hello! You're all hungry, are you? I've had a good dinner. And, you know, there are huge problems to be tackled in Africa. I don't know if you know this, but actually in South Africa, you can insure yourself against getting raped, because if you catch the HIV virus, treatment's really expensive. And what's that going to be like? You know, you're walking along, some bloke jumps out from behind a hedge, gets his ghoulies out, and you think, oh, Christ, there goes me no claims bonus there.
Sit down, Joe, please. OK, let's have another topic. Topic is crime. Who's coming in that? John.
The most important thing to remember about crime is that any law only makes sense in context. Look at sport. Punching someone repeatedly in the face is lauded in boxing, but is seriously frowned upon in table tennis. Similarly, if you come out of your corner in a boxing round bouncing a little ball on a bat, it's going to be literally seconds before you're staring at some lights. Furthermore, Moses. Now, there's a man who'd be on pretty much anyone's list of top 5 Jews. But think about it. When he led the children out of Israel, he was technically guilty of 3,000 counts of abducting a minor, bush arson, trespassing, and abducting the sea. And yet he walks free today. There really is no justice.
Well done, John. Very good. Sit down. Leaving us with 2 contestants. 1 topic we'll give you. Fight it out. Straight battle. What's the last topic this week? Jacques Chirac. Europe, let's say. Hugh, do you want to go first?
Britain isn't getting on very well with France at the moment, and it is partially because the French are a bit snooty. For example, take Concorde. Do you know, in the original version of Concorde, the French had their plane built with the front hinged the other way round, so it could turn its nose up when it landed on the ground. But the kind of European integration any of us seem to mind is town twinning. Everybody wants a French, town to twin with. And I didn't know how it happened, actually, until I recently went to Swindon. Met a bloke from Swindon Council. He told me that apparently it's very like getting a teenage pen pal, on the basis that Swindon was getting on very well with Monte Carlo until they sent them a photograph and never heard from them again.
Very good. Very good. Well done to you. Give him a round of applause. It is a head-to-head. Al, on the topic of Europe?
Well, of course, what's happened here is the French. The French have voted against Europe and now expect us to cough up for it. It's the classic example of the French attitude. They've lost the plot, basically, completely. I mean, these are people with a town called Brest, and none of them think it's funny. In any other country, a melted cheese would be regarded as a f***up, wouldn't it? They're up to something, aren't they? No, they're up. Well, I'm not done yet. Staying over there with their own customs. The point is, I think... I mean, that Eiffel Tower's a tragic waste of Meccano, isn't it? As a result, French boys have nothing to play with except themselves, and that's how it started, isn't it?
Al, thank you very much. Al Murray, give a round of applause. Tough to say, I'm giving it to Hugh, I'm giving it that side. Sit down, both of you.
The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time. Just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped. in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they can let go and make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. You have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference and still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a free cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. Free cheers for Jackie! Hip hip! What if everyone goes, no? Not free cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip hip, shut up.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. Now, I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those. My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no. If anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, what can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door. And the vet said, muzzle him. I said, I don't know, but he's got a beard. I went round to see my nan. I said, what you been up to? She said, weed in the garden. I said, well, at least you didn't shit in it. I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing. And my girlfriend said, do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her. Which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
Thank you very much. Well done, Davey. Point there for Davey. Come on.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Prime Minister Gordon Brown in buoyant mood, but what does ROCB stand for?
Is it what he looks like when he smiles? Is it really old, creepy baby?
Is he just really desperate about his election chances now? He's only got one thing he can do, and he's going, right, OK, call Batman.
Is it ruined our country, bastard?
Is he just giving a weather forecast? Is it rain, occasional cloud, blizzards?
Is it row over Cameron's bedroom? He's already in there, measuring up the curtains.
What are you doing? Do you think he's actually just found a way to solve the national debt? Is he going, rollover could be billions?
Is he going, there's a robin on the corner of the building?
It would be nice. It would be nice if he just got more distracted by wildlife. That would be quite sweet.
He's just trying to draw attention from the polls. No, there's a robin on the corner of the building.
It's a true purpose. It's a true purpose that your government's in chaos. Is that a chaffinch?
Is it what he's going to do on May the 6th? Is it going to be removals ordered, cab booked?
Would I be right in thinking the art was something to do with recession,
It would,
Dara?
yes, you would be right.
Is it recession over complete bullshit?
It is not that. You're halfway there, remarkably.
Listen, that was lovely, the unemployed people. That's it, yeah. We live in Poundland.
Is it recession that confirms Brown?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Well done. Very good.
He always does it like that.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was recession over confirms Brown. This is the Prime Minister's cautious announcement of the end of the recession, although he said there is still much more that needs to be done. The Office for National Statistics revealed that this week the economy had grown in the last 3 months of 2009 by 0.1%.
Great day.
Wow. Gee, I just started that. How long is that? I don't think we expected that. We just thought, like, we expected that. That's what we expected. But that is just like... It is difficult to maintain that.
It doesn't matter, but you look like a giddy chameleon. That was amazing.
Yeah, midway through the show, if a fly goes past. All right, how is Gordon Brown doing, and who is he trying to woo at the moment?
He's trying to woo the middle classes.
He is trying to woo the middle classes.
These aren't policies, these are M&S policies, don't they? He's going to change his name from Brown to Autumn Blush.
He's the most unpopular Prime Minister this country's ever had, and yet nobody in the Cabinet thinks they can defeat him in a leadership election. How crap are they?
But what you're forgetting, I think, that we don't know what goes on in the Cabinet, and everyone's got to remember that he has got one eye that doesn't work, and perhaps he would do what I would do if I was him in the Cabinet. I'd wear an eye patch. I'd sit there with an eye patch on, and I'd have a white cat.
There is a theory that Brown would put it over the wrong eye. There's also another thing that no one's going to run against Brown at the moment because what's the prize? You get to lead Labour into an election they'll probably lose. It's like going, oh my God, we've hit an iceberg. Can I drive the ship for a while? Can I?
It's like whatever is thrown at him, he still sort of gets up again. You half expect, like, Brian Blessed to just pop up every now and again and go, Gordon's alive.
He keeps on saying, I'm getting on with the job. He's like the Millwall of politicians. Nobody likes him, but he doesn't care.
But that's what I mean. He's one of those, and he's having a go, and you think, well, that's all right, but you're running the country. It's like if somebody came in and said, look, I'm not a great surgeon, but I'll have a go.
Basically,
put the hours in.
I've sewn on a button, so I know I can finish the job. But getting to the stuff, I'm sure I'll recognise the kidney when I see it.
I've played the board game.
There's a photograph of him and Darling, actually, which was very interesting, because him and Darling at the same time the announcement. That, interestingly, is the £10 note that tipped us out of the recession.
But the reason why the economy's grown in the last 3 months is because we had Christmas, isn't it? And people, of course, spend money at Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
It's the only time people go absolutely mad. You don't see anyone in July going, I need goose fat. You know?
Basically, though, Western capitalism, isn't it? It's based on people buying stuff they don't need with money they don't have, as opposed to Christmas time, when everybody buys things nobody needs with money they don't have for people they don't even like.
It's a beautiful miracle. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on daytime TV.
Well, these four date from the early part of last century. Some wear and tear, a little bit of tarnishing there. But please welcome today's Loose Women!
Welcome to Channel 4 Daytime, or as you said to your boss this morning, working from home.
Well, coming up next, 2 programmes you don't want to get confused. Escape to the Countryside and Bargain... Hang on.
The next programme is Pointless. It's the Jeremy Kyle Show.
Coming up, Teletubbies Uncut. Yes, you're going to get to see Tinky Winky's Winky and Dipsy's La La.
Next, Judge Judy. I have. She's shit.
Hello and welcome to Let's Decorate the Shit Out of This House. This week we're decorating the shit out of a 3-bed semi in Orpington. So let's do it! Let's decorate the shit out of this house!
Next up, another property programme, which is pretty offensive when we consider you're all unemployed.
Hello, welcome to This Morning. I'm Philip, a man on television, so I can go grey and look older. This is Holly, one wrinkle and she's finished.
So David wanted to retire by the sea, so we advised him to buy in Norwich, because by the time he's retired, the sea will have come to him.
Next on Flog It, the team meet their greatest challenge yet. A dead horse.
And now a trip round Dara O'Brien's head in Hair Hunters.
Next up, the Austrian version of Cash in the Attic. It's Family in the Basement.
Hello and welcome to Let's Cook the Shit Out of Some Dinner!
And now on BBC One, let's make an appointment with doctors. If we phone now, we may be able to see them next Thursday.
Welcome to A Place in the Sun, the show that's for people who aren't sure if they want to live in Britain or move abroad. First up, Abu Qatada.
Next up on ITV3, it's a cutting-edge American drama. I'm only joking, it's Taggart again.
Hello and welcome to I'm gonna sell these antiques if it fucking kills me!
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over at Tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the Sexist Supermarket. Check out number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh. You were Milton.